Chapter 2087. A pair of fiery golden eyes that could look down on the world, an iron rod that could pierce through the sky. The peerless Monkey King was born, and he was already a 6th-grade demon sovereign.
Look, the Holy Sun is born.
We're saved. The Holy Sun has advanced to the 6th-grade demon sovereign. With his strength, he will definitely be able to save our demonic immortal island. The heavens have not forsaken our demonic immortal island. Seeing the appearance of Long Xueqi, the people of the demonic immortal island who were in despair became excited. They knew Long Xueqi very well. He was a peerless madman, a peerless monster. Now that he had appeared, he could turn the situation around with just an iron rod. Tianpeng Evil Emperor and the Demon Elder's eyes finally brightened up. They were filled with hope. They knew how terrifying Long Xueqi was. If Long Xueqi was a 4th-grade or 5th-grade great sovereign, they might be a little worried. But Long Xueqi, a 6th-grade demon sovereign, could easily sweep through everything. Dong. Long Xueqi took a step forward and appeared not far away from the 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns. Kill him. The leader of the Xueqi family frowned and said. A 6th-grade barbarian sovereign held a black battle spear and rushed towards Long Xueqi. Long Xueqi raised his eyes. His fiery golden eyes could see through everything.
Just a glance from him was enough to make the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign tremble with fear.
Who? Dragon Xueqi raised the iron stick in his hand high up. Without any fancy moves, he smashed the iron stick towards the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign. The void was torn apart by this strike.
Dreadful light was emitted from the iron stick, forming a dreadful destructive energy net, trapping the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign tightly.
What? The murderous 6th-grade barbarian sovereign's expression changed dramatically. He felt that his entire body was bound by an enormous energy. Under this kind of restraint, even a powerful 6th-grade barbarian sovereign like him could not move at all. Bang! The iron staff smashed down fiercely. The only thing the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign could do was to let out a blood-curdling scream. Under Long Xueqi's ferocious attack, the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign was smashed into minced meat and died on the spot. How is this possible? The remaining 5 6th-grade great sovereigns were shocked. Their eyes were almost bleeding. They looked at Long Xueqi as if they were looking at a devil. They were both 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns. Even if there was a gap between them, the gap was still too big. The powerful elder of the Wulon family couldn't even withstand a single strike from Long Xueqi and was killed instantly. If they didn't see it with their own eyes, they wouldn't believe it even if they were beaten to death. The appearance of Long Xueqi had subverted their understanding. Haha, our demonic immortal island will not perish. Tianpeng Evil Emperor laughed heartily. His mood instantly became incomparably carefree. He now began to rejoice that the Holy Maiden had chosen this Holy Sun. Because of Long Xueqi, the demonic immortal island had finally escaped the catastrophe and avoided the fate of extinction. Everyone must die. Long Xueqi revealed a cold smile.
He held the iron staff in his hand and locked his fiery golden eyes on one of them and smashed him on the spot.
Arg! Another 6th-grade great sovereign was smashed to death. Every strike of the iron staff made them unable to resist at all. Long Xueqi was too powerful now. As long as they were locked on by him, they couldn't even escape, let alone resist. With Dragon Xueqi's cultivation and strength, in addition to his terrifying Battle Saint Ape bloodline that could restrain the barbarian race, he could even kill an 8th-grade barbarian sovereign without hesitation, let alone these 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns in front of him. He could kill as many as he wanted. How did the demonic immortal island have such a monstrous genius? The leader of the Xueqi family had the urge to spurt out blood. The battle was supposed to be without any suspense, but because of the appearance of a monstrous genius, the situation was changed. How could he not be angry? The key was not anger, but fear. The remaining 4 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns were terrified. That kind of fear was caused by absolute pressure. Elder, what should we do? Should we retreat? Someone asked. Retreat? None of you can leave. Long Xueqi's aura was ice-cold. The flames shot out from his fiery golden eyes formed into a huge fire net, enveloping the 4 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns. In other words, the aura that Long Xueqi emitted had sealed the entire void of the demonic immortal island, not giving them any chance to escape. The demonic chi soared to the sky. The aura that Long Xueqi unleashed was too strong. Even the Tianpeng Evil Emperor was terrified, as if he was facing an 8th-grade demon sovereign. The boundless pressure had greatly impacted their souls. After that, Long Xueqi displayed his invincible might. His iron staff smashed the remaining 4 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns to death. The whole process was done without any hesitation. Even if the 4 of them wanted to escape, they couldn't. The gap between them was too big. They were not on the same level. Not good. The leaders are all dead. We're finished. Damn it. How could there be such a heaven-defying guy? Let's retreat. Everyone, listen up. Retreat immediately. The bloody battle that was going on suddenly had a huge change. The death of the 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns was a huge blow to the barbarian race's morale. Everyone lost their will to fight and started to flee. Unfortunately, the space here was sealed by Long Xueqi. It was almost impossible for them to escape with their strength. Kill all the barbarian race. Leave no one alive. Heavenly Pung Demon Sovereign bellowed. With a flap of his wings, he rushed into the barbarian race's camp, causing a huge mess. With Heavenly Pung Demon Sovereign's strength, he might not be able to defeat the joint attack of 6 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns, but dealing with these small shrimps was as easy as crushing ants. Wherever he went, not a single one of them was left alive. Ethereal Immortal Domain, Northern Xuanyu, Profound Een Cult. At this moment, the Profound Een Cult was being attacked by a large number of barbarian race. Everyone in the cult was fighting with all their might. The barbarian race had made an assessment of the strength of each region and sent out different clansmen to attack them. Therefore, although the barbarian race was fierce, the Profound Een Cult could still resist them for the time being. When the battle was at its most intense, a crack was suddenly torn open in the sky. A black-clothed white-haired young man walked out from the crack. After the young man appeared, his whole body was filled with boundless devil might. This was the true Devil King that had descended to the world. After he appeared, the noisy battlefield immediately stopped. That was the terrifying aura of a 6th-grade demon sovereign. It was so oppressive that everyone's soul was trembling. Look, that's the Holy Sun. He has returned from the Devil Mountain. Such a powerful aura. This is a mighty great sovereign. The Devil Mountain really exists. The Holy Sun has really found it. Amazing. Under this pressure, I can feel my soul trembling violently. Chapter 2088. Lend a Hand. The Devil Mountain had always been a legend to the Profound Een Cult. No one had ever seen the Devil Mountain, and no one knew where it was located. According to legend, only the true genius of the Devil Tao could enter the Devil Mountain and obtain a heaven-defying fortune. However, there were many geniuses in the Profound Een Cult throughout the years. They spent their whole lives trying to find the location of the Devil Mountain, but none of them succeeded. Until the appearance of Han Yen, this legend became a reality. After Han Yen left, many people in the Profound Een Cult did not believe that he could find the Devil Mountain. After all, no one had ever succeeded. But now, it seemed that Han Yen had succeeded. He must have found the Devil Mountain and obtained a heaven-defying fortune. This was the only explanation for his advancement to the terrifying 6th-grade demon sovereign. No one knew what Han Yen had obtained in the Devil Mountain, but the Devil Mountain had truly created a supreme demon sovereign. The barbarians, who were brimming with murderous intent, were now trembling under this terrifying pressure. They couldn't even move. Motherfucker! Why is there a 6th-grade demon sovereign? There shouldn't be such a powerful existence in the Profound Een Cult. The leader of the barbarian race cursed. A 6th-grade barbarian sovereign was too much of a shock to them. Han Yan's eyes lit up as he looked down at the world. He took a glance at the battlefield and suddenly stretched out his devil claw. The black devil claw was like a heavenly sovereign's barrier, covering hundreds of experts of the barbarian race. Those who were caught by his claw were all high-ranking members of the barbarian race. Arg! Shrill screams were heard. Han Yan's claw had killed hundreds of people and turned them into ashes, leaving nothing behind. Han Yan's body trembled and disappeared after killing so many people in one move. No one knew where he went. The battlefield didn't need him anymore. So powerful. Where did the Holy Sun go? The Holy Sun is too powerful. The battle here is not suitable for him anymore. He wants to go to a bigger battlefield. That's right. The war between the immortal world and the barbarian world has spread across the entire immortal world. The Holy Sun has already advanced to the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign. The battlefield here is no longer able to attract his attention. He has just pinched so many experts of the barbarian race to death, completely resolving the crisis of our profound Een cult. The next step is up to us. Han Yen stood tall in the sky, his demonic eyes looking at the smoke and the battlefield around him. The catastrophe had arrived, and he felt that he had to do something. I wonder how little Chenzi and the others are doing. They must be fighting on their own.
Then, he looked in the direction of the Immortal Court, the ethereal Immortal Court.
I can sense the terrifying fluctuations of the battle coming from the Immortal Court. It seems like the Immortal Court is in danger. Although there are grudges between us, we should put them aside for now. Fighting against the barbarian race is more important. Han Yen spoke.
At his level of cultivation, he could sense many things. In the entire immortal realms, as long as Han Yen wanted to know something, he would be able to sense it with a single thought.
There were battlefields everywhere, but to Han Yen, the most suitable battlefield for him was the Immortal Court. At this moment, the ethereal Immortal Court. Just as Han Yen had expected, the Immortal Court was facing an unprecedented crisis. Although the Immortal Court was very strong, their opponents were even stronger. It was undeniable that the barbarian world had become extremely terrifying after tens of thousands of years of recuperation.
The combat strength of every level of the barbarian world had almost surpassed that of the immortal world.
Each of the 12 great families had countless experts. At this moment, there were 5 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns attacking the ethereal Immortal Court. On the side of the Immortal Court, there were only 3 6th-grade great sovereigns. The battlefield covered the entire space of the Immortal Court.
All the elders and disciples of the Immortal Court had joined in the battle.
The most brutal battle with the ferocious barbarian race was unfolding. Battle cries, tearing sounds, and blood-curdling screams could be heard. Blood was spurting everywhere. The entire battlefield had become a blood-stained world.
The blood of the human race, the blood of the barbarian race, and the corpses fell from the sky one after another.
A great sovereign, or even an immortal venerable, had an unlimited lifespan and immortality. However, immortality did not exist in a war like this. You don't even know if you can continue to live in the next moment. The enemies were too ferocious. Most of them used the method of perishing together with the enemy. Barf! A 6th-grade great sovereign elder was defeated in the end. He spurted out a mouthful of blood. Even the ethereal sovereign lord could not withstand it anymore. The combat sword in his hand unleashed the sharpest attack.
However, under the situation where there were 5 of them fighting against 3 of them, his resistance was almost futile.
A battle of cornered beasts.
Ha!
The leader of the devil race laughed. His face was filled with ridicule. Dong! A muffled thunder-like sound was heard in the sky. A big hole appeared in the sky. A white-haired young man descended from the sky. He was a peerless devil sovereign. Han Yen was holding a black scepter in his hand.
As soon as he appeared, his eyes immediately locked onto a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign. He waved the scepter and appeared in front of the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign like a devil dragon.
Caught off guard, the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign was hit by the scepter and was smashed into pieces on the spot. After coming out from the Devil Mountain, Han Yan's combat strength had reached an incomparably terrifying level.
With the supreme devil wand in his hand, he was almost invincible among those at the same level as him.
Although he was not as abnormal as Xueqi, the destructive power he could create when fighting against a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign was almost the same as Xueqi. Both of them were killed in one strike. Who is it? The leader of the barbarian race shouted. His expression became solemn.
All of them looked at the white-haired young man who suddenly appeared.
This young man had killed one of their 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns as soon as he appeared. This was a huge blow to the barbarian race. He's Han Yen, a friend of Jiang Chen. I didn't expect him to become so powerful in such a short period of time.
He must have had a great encounter.
An elder said. In order to deal with the Immortal Court, the ethereal Immortal Court had investigated everything about Jiang Chen, including Jiang Chen's friends. Therefore, it was not strange for them to know Han Yan's identity at first glance.
I didn't expect that the one who saved our Immortal Court would be him.
Seems like we have to put our grudges aside. Yeah. Now is the crucial moment to fight against the barbarian race. In the face of such a catastrophe, there's no need to talk about grudges. Han Yen has put aside his grudges and helped us. What else can we say? We owe him a favor. Including the ethereal sovereign lord, the 3 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns had the same thought.
The appearance of Han Yen had put aside all their grudges.
Let me kill him. The leader of the Wufeng family made a brazen move and attacked Han Yen. He didn't believe that a 6th-grade demon sovereign could be so strong that he couldn't be resisted. Moreover, he was the strongest among them, so he was the only one who attacked. For the fastest novel reading, please visit Chapter 2089.
Seeing the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign rushing towards him, Han Yen revealed a cold smile at the corner of his mouth.
His facial expression didn't change at all.
He pointed the scepter in his hand forward and the void instantly froze.
It was as if the confinement of a ghost from hell was being carried by a supreme devil might.
A devil light rushed out from the scepter and heavily hit the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign's body.
Boom! The powerful 6th-grade barbarian sovereign instantly suffered an unprecedented blow. A big hole appeared on his chest and he lost half of his life force. Before the leader of the barbarian sovereigns could scream, Han Yen had already appeared above his head. The scepter fell down and hit the barbarian sovereign's head. Bang! The void was smashed. One could imagine the ending of the leader of the barbarian sovereigns. His death was extremely miserable. Kill them all! Seeing Han Yan's method of killing 2 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns, the ethereal sovereign lord who had lost his fighting spirit instantly became excited. He shouted and took the lead to kill one of the 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns. The other 2 elders of the immortal court also did the same. They were full of fighting spirit and swore to kill their enemies. The barbarian race's morale instantly dropped. Morale was extremely important in a war like this. White Dragon Temple. The White Dragon Temple, which was illuminated by Buddhist light, had also sunk into endless darkness at this moment. A Buddhist pagoda shone with golden light, like a bright lamp in the darkness. However, even though it was a Buddhist pagoda that could emit endless brightness, it was unable to disperse the darkness in this place. Amitba! The eminent monks were chanting and the sound of Sanskrit was rolling. Roar! The barbarian race roared and bombarded White Dragon Temple crazily. All the supreme experts had come out. Old Ancestor Green Lotus stood at the center of the battlefield. He was a peerless Buddha with a kind countenance. However, each of his attacks was extraordinary. Old Ancestor Green Lotus was fighting against 3 of them at the same time. He did not fall into a disadvantageous position. The Buddha sect's giant palm was constantly being bombarded, which was extremely effective against the barbarian race. Because of the Buddha sect's strength, the number of barbarian race experts who came to attack White Dragon Temple was almost half of the White Dragon Temple's eminent monks. There were 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns. 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns were almost the same as the Fengqi Immortal Court. The ones who came to attack White Dragon Temple were the Wuka family and Wulei family of the barbarian race. Now, the 3 6th-grade great sovereigns of Buddhism sect were fighting against 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns that were more than half of their strength. Even if they had the advantage of Buddhism sect, they were still no match for them. Son of a bitch! Those bald donkeys from the Buddhist sect are truly powerful. Even with the 8 of us fighting against 3 of them, we are still unable to take them down. The experts of the Wuka family were extremely furious. In the sky above the entire White Dragon Temple, Buddhist light and barbaric chi surged. The color of the world had completely changed. This was a true battle of calamity. There was only life and death. No winning or losing. Let's not waste any more time. Set up the 8-sided Tajura formation to trap these 3 bald donkeys and kill them one by one. The leader of the Wuka family shouted. The 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns immediately spread out and stood in 8 different directions. Their auras were linked together, trapping Old Ancestor Green Lotus and the other 2 Buddhas. Abbot, they've set up the 8-sided Tajura formation to deal with us. Looks like we're in trouble today. One of the Buddhas said. Amitba. My Buddha is merciful. Life and death are separated by a single thought. What's the difference between life and death? Even if we die in battle, we must still contribute to this calamity. Old Ancestor Green Lotus said with a dignified face, without a shred of fear. This was the highest state of mind of Buddhism sect, seeing through life and death. 8-sided Tajura formation. Suppress. The leader of the Wuka family shouted. A ferocious barbarian weapon appeared in his hand. The other 7 barbarian sovereigns also unleashed their strongest attack. Under the combination of the 8-sided Tajura formation, the combat strength of the 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns had fused together. It was much stronger than before. Buddha's true body. Old ancestor Green Lotus and the other two Buddhas unleashed their Buddha's true body at the same time. Their bodies turned into 100 zhang tall peerless Buddha. Their bodies were covered with reddish golden light. Complex Sanskrit words were written above their heads, rippling with layers of Sanskrit sounds. Rumble. Both parties' attacks collided with each other. It was a battle between darkness and light, the two most targeted colors in the world. Wah! The three Buddhas spurted out blood at the same time. No matter how strong they were, they couldn't withstand the powerful attack of 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns unleashed by the 8-sided Tajura formation. If it was 3 against 3, the 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns would definitely die. Unfortunately, reality was always cruel. Haha. Old bald donkey, you can't take it anymore, right? The expert of the Wulei family laughed. Perish in a seated posture. Old ancestor Green Lotus' face was filled with sorrow. Golden flames started burning on the surface of his body. Seeing this, the other two Buddhas also showed a sorrowful face. Then, flames also appeared on the surface of their bodies. Abbot. Countless eminent monks of White Dragon Temple cried in sorrow when they saw this scene. They knew that old ancestor Green Lotus and the other two Buddhas were burning their life force. That was the fire of life. They wanted to perish in a seated posture and perish together with their enemies. Rumble. At this moment, the void suddenly exploded, and a majestic little monk walked out from nothingness. A 6th-grade great sovereign, the youngest Buddha was born. His eyebrows twitched and a peerless Buddha's prestige burst out. He was holding a huge stone tablet in his hand. Go. The little monk said lightly. The god-suppressing monument became infinitely big and smashed towards the center of the 8-sided Tajura formation. Rumble. Arg. Along with an earth-shaking rumble, the 8-sided Tajura formation was smashed by the powerful attack of the god-suppressing monument. Even the 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns couldn't withstand the powerful vibration. All 8 of them were sent flying and spurted out blood. With just one strike, the 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns were defeated and injured at the same time. Such a powerful attack was truly shocking. All right. Old ancestor Green Lotus kept the fire of life. His eyes were burning with passion. The moment the little monk appeared, he knew that White Dragon Temple was saved. Who is that? How could there be such a powerful little monk in White Dragon Temple? The leader of the Xueqi family had the urge to spurt out blood. However, Tyrant didn't care about that. He looked at the stone tablet and crushed everything. In a blink of an eye, he arrived in front of one of the 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns. The god-suppressing monument fell down and hit him. Arg! Along with a blood-curdling scream, the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign was smashed into powder on the spot. Akalanatha seal. Tyrant turned around and struck the other 6th-grade barbarian sovereign with a powerful Akalanatha seal. The huge seal was like a huge mountain, crushing the 6th-grade barbarian sovereign to death on the spot. Chapter 2090. Tyrant killed 2 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns and turned the tide of the battle as soon as he appeared. Out of the 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns, 2 of them had died. The remaining 6 looked at the tyrannical monk with endless fear in their eyes. Because the 8 sides Tajura formation was broken, the 6 of them were injured by the god-suppressing monument. Now that the monk was so fierce, there was no trace of his previous overbearing aura. Boom! Tyrant swung his arm and the huge god-suppressing monument immediately flew up into the sky. The huge god-suppressing monument was 1,000 feet tall. Endless divine light was emitted from it, forming a dazzling net that sealed the entire space where White Dragon Temple was. Under the seal of the god-suppressing monument, all the barbarians from the barbarian world couldn't escape even if they had wings. The void has been sealed. We can't escape. Let's attack together and kill the little monk. Otherwise, all of us will die here today. One of the people from the Xueqi family shouted. The 6 of them looked ferocious and rushed towards Tyrant crazily. Let's attack too. Old ancestor Green Lotus also moved. He held a Buddhist seal in his hand and rushed towards one of them. The other 2 Buddhas also picked an opponent and rushed towards them. Although the 3 of them were not as powerful as Tyrant, they couldn't just watch the 6 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns fight against Tyrant alone without doing anything. Since they wanted to turn defeat into victory, they had to release all of their previous grievances and get back at their enemies. Dao Light Buddha Body. Tyrant shouted. His body turned into 100 zhang tall Buddha,
and pressed towards one of the barbarian sovereigns like a mountain. Ah! How could the barbarian sovereign withstand the pressure of the Tao Light Buddha body? He was crushed on the spot. With Tyrant's current strength, he could easily kill a 7th-grade barbarian sovereign. Not to mention that his opponent was just a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign like him. In addition to the fact that the Buddha sex cultivation method could restrain the barbarian race, killing a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign was as easy as blowing off dust. Ah! Blood-curdling screams could be heard continuously. In just a few minutes, all the 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns had died in the battle. Tyrant had displayed his invincible might and killed all the barbarians in all directions. The remaining barbarians had also become defeated soldiers and were no longer a threat to White Dragon Temple. Tyrant approached Ancestor Green Lotus and put his palms together. Ancestor. Good. Looks like you've obtained an unimaginable fortuitous encounter in the God-suppressing monument. The calamity this time is the time for you to display your abilities. Ancestor Green Lotus nodded. Looking at his junior, he was truly satisfied from the bottom of his heart. There was nothing to nitpick about. At this moment, Tyrant suddenly felt a summoning force. The corner of his mouth curled into a smile. Grandmaster, little Chunzi has summoned me. I must go, Tyrant said. The summoning that he received just now was from Jiang Chen. With Jiang Chen's current strength, it was very easy for him to summon them. All right, go ahead. The White Dragon Temple has settled down. You can deal with the calamity without worry. This time, both you and Jiang Chen will become important figures in the calamity. Ancestor Green Lotus said. With a sway of his body, Tyrant vanished. At the same time, Han Yen and Longsher San received the summoning from Jiang Chen at the same time. It just so happened that their battle had ended. They immediately flew towards the location where Jiang Chen had summoned them. In the sky above a desolate mountain range, Jiang Chen held the gold feather fan in his hand. There wasn't a single barbarian within a radius of 10,000 miles because all of them had turned into corpses. Broken corpses of barbarians could be seen everywhere below the mountain range. They had all died under the gold feather fan. The gold feather fan had a great restraining effect on the barbarians. In the hands of Jiang Chen, all the barbarians couldn't withstand a single blow. Under the sweep of the gold feather fan, it was like a gale sweeping away fallen leaves. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. 3 silhouettes appeared at the same time from 3 different directions. One was wearing a yellow robe with flowing black and white hair. One was wearing a black robe with white hair and holding a scepter. The last one was holding a stone tablet and wearing a golden kasaya. They were Longsher San, Han Yen, and Tyrant who had appeared after receiving the summon from Jiang Chen. Little Chunzi. When they saw Jiang Chen, the 3 of them were overjoyed. It wasn't easy for the 4 of them to gather together at such a critical moment in such a calamity. The 4 of them looked at each other and were shocked when they saw each other's cultivation level. Then they burst into laughter. Good. It seems like all of you have had an extraordinary fortuitous encounter. This catastrophe will be the key to our growth. The fate of the immortal world will be in our hands. Us brothers will be able to accomplish great things in the immortal world. Our years of trials and tribulations won't be in vain. Jiang Chen said with lofty sentiments. Why don't I see De Huang? Han Yen asked curiously. I've already sent a summon to De Huang, but he didn't appear. That means he's still in seclusion. Let's ignore him for now. I believe you guys have experienced the true battle and witnessed the strength of the barbarian race. Jiang Chen said. That's right. The barbarian race is too strong. Each of the barbarian race that appeared is incomparably strong, surpassing the strength of the immortal world. It's really difficult to deal with them. If I didn't appear in time, the demonic immortal island would be finished. Longsher San said. Even with his arrogance, he had to admit the strength of the barbarian race. It's the same on my side. White Dragon Temple has just experienced a great catastrophe. Tyrant said. It's the same for the ethereal immortal court. I went to help them resolve the crisis. Han Yen said. Yes. The number of experts of the barbarian world is greater than ours, especially the immortal court. Now the crisis of White Dragon Temple, demonic immortal island, Fengqi immortal court, and ethereal immortal court has been temporarily resolved. Regardless of when the second attack of the barbarian race will come, the barbarian world will definitely adjust their wrong decision. What we need to do now is to help the immortal court resolve the first attack of the barbarian world. Jiang Chen said. Little Chenzi,
What do you think we should do? We'll listen to you. Tyrant said.
Putting aside White Dragon Temple, Demonic Immortal Island, Ethereal Immortal Court, and Xueqi Immortal Court, there are still 7 immortal courts that might be facing a crisis. Monkey, you will immediately go to Ling Long Immortal Court and Yellow Spring Immortal Court. Tyrant, you will go to Limitless Immortal Court and Rue Immortal Court. Ah Yen, you will go to Boundless Immortal Court. Leave one of them to me. Jiang Chen said. He would personally go to Mi Luo Immortal Court and Radiance Immortal Court. All right, we'll go now. The 3 of them nodded. Now that the immortal world was in danger, it wasn't the time to chat. Every immortal court was the strongest force against the barbarian race. If they suffered a great loss, the immortal court would be in real danger. Chapter 2091. The Mi Luo Immortal Court was suffering the same fate as the Ethereal Immortal Court. They were being bombarded by the barbarian race. The ones who attacked the Mi Luo Immortal Court were the experts of the Wulon family and the Dark Green family. Their camp was almost the same as the one they attacked the Ethereal Immortal Court. 5 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns led a large number of barbarian race experts, and almost destroyed the entire space where the Mi Luo Immortal Court was located. The battle was intense and chaotic, causing the sky and earth to darken. Mi Luo Sovereign Lord and the other 2 6th-grade great sovereigns of the Immortal Court were beaten to the point of vomiting blood. Their faces were ashen and they looked like they were in despair. How can the barbarian world be so powerful? Mi Luo Sovereign Lord's face was filled with grief and indignation. None of them had thought that the second catastrophe would be so terrifying. The barbarian world had been recuperating for tens of thousands of years, yet it had become so terrifying. He could imagine that the army that came to attack the Mi Luo Immortal Court would definitely be the same as the other immortal courts. When he thought up to here, Mi Luo Monarch's expression grew even gloomier. Because it indicated that all the immortal courts in the immortal world were encountering an unprecedented crisis, and once all the immortal courts were unable to resist it, then the immortal world would fall completely, and it would truly be finished. Sovereign Lord, what should we do now? A 6th-grade barbarian sovereign elder asked.
What else can we do? Let's fight to the death. This is the calamity of the immortal world. Even if we die, we have to fight. We have no way out. Mi Luo Monarch gritted his teeth and said. In the face of such a calamity, there were no conditions that could be discussed. The only thing they could do was to fight to the death. Even if they died in battle, they had to fight. There was no way out. Kill! One of the leaders of the Wulon family let out an explosive roar. Together with the other 4 people, they charged towards Mi Luo Sovereign Lord and the other 2 with ferocious barbarian weapons in their hands. Their attacks were incomparably ferocious, and almost all of them were destructive killing moves. Under such circumstances, Mi Luo Sovereign Lord and the other 2 who were already heavily injured could not hold on any longer. After this attack, the 3 of them would probably face the most devastating blow. Swoosh! At this moment, an ear-piercing sword whistle was heard from the void. A bright sword light that looked like a real dragon came out from the void and fell on a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign. Ah! The 6th-grade barbarian sovereign didn't even have the chance to resist. He was cut into 2 halves on the spot, blood spurting out from his mouth. Who is it? The leader of the Wulon family shouted towards the void. The death of a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign had shocked them greatly. One should know that the person who could kill a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign with just a sword light must be a peerless expert. The Mi Luo Sovereign Lord and the other 2 who were under the pressure suddenly heaved a sigh of relief. Their gazes turned towards the void and saw a half-human half-dragon youth appearing like a phantom. He wielded a battle sword and exuded an extraordinary aura. It was as though a peerless god of war had descended. Jiang Chen. Mi Luo Sovereign Lord and the other 2 great sovereigns exclaimed at the same time when they saw the newcomer. They could feel the terrifying aura radiating from Jiang Chen's body. Even though he was just a 4th-grade great sovereign, they knew Jiang Chen too well. After all, they were once sworn enemies. They knew that Jiang Chen's strength could not be measured by strength. Even though he was just a 4th-grade great sovereign, the fact that he could kill a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign with a single slash had already explained everything. I never thought that he would be the one to save our immortal court at such a critical moment. His growth is too fast. If our immortal court continues to treat him as our sworn enemy, I'm afraid that not even the people of the immortal court will be enough for him to kill. The 2 elders sighed. They knew that at this moment, all the grudges in the past had disappeared. The fact that Jiang Chen took the initiative to help them in the face of the catastrophe had already shown Jiang Chen's magnanimity. If that was the case, what else could the immortal court say? Even though they had suffered a great loss in the hands of Jiang Chen, there was no grudge left in the face of the catastrophe. More importantly, Jiang Chen had grown to the point where they could only look up to him. They should be thankful that Jiang Chen did not come back to cause trouble for them. Howl! After Jiang Chen appeared, he did not say a word. The heavenly dragon's sword let out a heaven-shaking roar. The terrifying sword Qi instantly locked on one person and slashed towards him. Arg! The gap in their strength was too huge. Once they were locked on by the heavenly dragon's sword, only death awaited them. There was no suspense at all. They couldn't even resist. A crack was torn on the Zulong Tower, devouring the two 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns. The 69th floor of the Zulong Tower began to condense. For Jiang Chen, the 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns were still a powerful resource and nourishment. The condensing of the Zulong Tower was getting more and more difficult. The energy that he could get from the Zulong Tower was getting lesser and lesser. That was why Jiang Chen had to kill recklessly and use the number of barbarian sovereigns to increase his strength. The catastrophe had just begun. It would last for a long time. Jiang Chen must grow rapidly in this catastrophe. Only in this way could he appear in the ultimate battlefield of the sovereign domain. The remaining 3 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns were stunned. They could not recover from the shock for a while. They did not know where this freak came from, but he had killed 2 of their powerful experts with ease. Arg! Jiang Chen did not give them any chance to be stunned. The heavenly dragon's sword hovered like a real dragon and descended on the head of another 6th-grade barbarian sovereign. That 6th-grade barbarian sovereign let out a blood-curdling scream and died on the spot. Ugh! The last 2 barbarian sovereigns were not surprising either. After solving the crisis here, Jiang Chen still needed to go to the Radiant's Immortal Court. So he must finish the battle quickly. Killing 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns was too easy for him. It was not challenging at all. Not to mention that the gap in their strength had been widened. The experts of the barbarian race could only display half of their strength under Jiang Chen's powerful attack. Mi Luo Sovereign Lord and the other 2 barbarian sovereigns were dumbfounded. They were stunned on the spot. Everything that happened just now was like a dream. The 5 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns who threatened their lives were killed by Jiang Chen as if he was cutting melons and vegetables. If they did not see it with their own eyes, they would not believe it even if they were beaten to death. Mi Luo Sovereign Lord felt that his mouth was dry. Facing the current Jiang Chen, he was somewhat speechless. He absolutely believed that if it wasn't for the calamity of the barbarian world, if Jiang Chen came to attack their immortal world, he alone could destroy the immortal world. Jiang Chen, thank you. No matter what happened between us before, let's forget about it now. Mi Luo Sovereign Lord cupped his fists at Jiang Chen. Mi Luo Sovereign Lord, we should work together to fight against the barbarian world in front of us. Your immortal court needs to recover as soon as possible. This is only the first round of the barbarian world's attack. After recuperating, the barbarian world's strength has exceeded our imagination. I will go to the Radiant's Immortal Court now. Chapter 2092. Looking at the place where Jiang Chen disappeared, Mi Luo Sovereign Lord and the people of Mi Luo Immortal Court sighed. They couldn't calm themselves down for a long time. Most of the people on the scene used to think that they could kill Jiang Chen one day. Even when Jiang Chen appeared just now, they did not give up the thought of killing Jiang Chen. But at this moment, all the grudges seemed to have vanished into thin air. In the face of the catastrophe, personal grudges seemed insignificant. More importantly, even if they wanted to kill Jiang Chen for revenge, it was already impossible. The gap between them and Jiang Chen was not just a little bit. Sovereign Lord, we owe Jiang Chen a favor now. Without him, I'm afraid that the Immortal Court would face the crisis of annihilation today. An elder said, let bygones be bygones. In this catastrophe, we don't know whether we'll live or die. Even I don't know when I'll die, said Mi Luo Sovereign Lord while shaking his head. Mi Luo Emperor Lord shook his head. In the face of a true calamity, nothing else mattered except life and death. Even life and death were not important. Just like the other battlefields, after the 6th-grade great sovereigns were killed, the rest of the battle became completely one-sided. At the same time, the other immortal courts in the immortal world were also facing the strong attacks of the barbarian race. But because of the appearance of Long San, Han Yen and Tyrant, They helped the immortal courts to resolve the crisis. Jiang Chen was the same. After he left the Mi Luo Immortal Court, he went straight to the Radiance Immortal Court. The final result was the same. He killed 5 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns and resolved the grudge between him and the Radiance Immortal Court. After refining so many 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns, the number of dragon marks in Jiang Chen's body had increased by a lot, reaching 187 million. There were still 30,000 dragon marks left before he could reach the 5th-grade Great Sovereign Realm. The 69th floor of the Zulong Tower was completely condensed, which made Jiang Chen's combat strength even more terrifying. However, the Zulong Tower had only condensed a floor after refining so many 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns, and Jiang Chen's dragon marks had only increased by 20,000. It was enough to show that as his cultivation realm increased, the amount of energy required for each increase was too huge. It was much more difficult than before. However, Jiang Chen was not discouraged.
There was nothing for him to be discouraged about.
His speed of advancement was already shocking in the eyes of others. If they were not satisfied with this, they would die of anger. Naturally, Jiang Chen was not in a hurry. The catastrophe had just begun. The barbarian race was his nourishment and resources. He could absorb them endlessly. Jiang Chen knew that after the barbarian race suffered a heavy blow, they would definitely send more powerful experts. At that time, killing 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns wouldn't be a problem for him to advance to the 5th-grade Great Sovereign Realm. The war between the barbarian world and the immortal world lasted less than a day, and they had already lost countless people, especially the higher-ups. For the barbarian world, they had been recuperating for tens of thousands of years. They were waiting for the day when they would explode and give the immortal world a thunderous strike. They would not give the immortal world a chance to react, and they would immediately plunge the immortal world into eternal damnation. The reality was exactly like that. The barbarian world had made the most meticulous plan to deal with the 9 immortal courts, White Dragon Temple and demonic Immortal Island. The camp that they sent was extraordinarily powerful. To any immortal court, it would be the most fatal blow. To put it bluntly, if there were no accidents, the immortal world would be conquered in just one day. Unfortunately, God's plans supersede man's plans.
Even the 12 old ancestors of the barbarian world would not have thought that the immortal world would suddenly have so many abnormal people.
Jiang Chen, Longsha San, Han Yen and Tyrant. These 4 people had changed everything and reversed the situation.
The barbarian world that was originally in a good situation had fallen into eternal damnation.
Although they had achieved a good result, the immortal world could not let their guard down. Jiang Chen had been to the barbarian world before, so he knew how terrifying the barbarian world was. Jiang Chen knew that this was just the first wave of the barbarian world's attack. Even though they had suffered heavy losses, it was not enough to hurt the barbarian world. It was conceivable that the barbarian world would adjust their strategy. The next attack would certainly be fiercer and more brutal than this one. The war between the 9 immortal courts, White Dragon Temple and demonic Immortal Island had ended very quickly, but the war in the entire immortal world was still going on. Countless regions were engaged in life-and-death battles. After ending the crisis of the immortal courts, Jiang Chen and the others didn't stop. They began to circle around different regions. There were still many things that they needed to do in this catastrophe, and there were also many people that they needed to save. Along the way, Jiang Chen saw the tragedy of the war. He saw countless people of the immortal world dying under the claws of the barbarian race. Jiang Chen held the gold feather fan in his hand. In the next 7 days, his footprints were all over the immortal world. Wherever the gold feather fan went, nothing was left behind. The destructive power of the gold feather fan against the barbarian race was too thorough and too powerful. On the 8th day, the army of the barbarian world began to gather towards a barren land at the westernmost part of the immortal world. The immortal world had also temporarily regained some peace. Too many people had died in the 7 days of catastrophe. The entire immortal world was shrouded in the shadow of doomsday. Although the army of the barbarian world was temporarily repulsed, no one relaxed because they knew that the war had just begun. The catastrophe was far from over. In these 7 days, the name of Jiang Chen had become famous in the immortal world. He had become a god in the hearts of the people. He had become the savior of the immortal world. With the gold feather fan, he had swept across the world. Everyone knew that if it wasn't for Jiang Chen, the immortal world would have suffered a tragic end. Too many of them would have died. At the same time, in the Fengqi Immortal Court, the tranquil sky was filled with boundless pressure all of a sudden. Then,
A ferocious-looking old man appeared out of thin air.
The instant the old man appeared, the sky above the immortal court was enshrouded by billowing black smoke. That extremely powerful pressure made everyone feel incomparably uncomfortable.
A 7th-grade barbarian sovereign.
A 7th-grade barbarian sovereign has appeared. Jiang Chen hasn't returned yet. How are we going to deal with this?
Damn it!
Shouldn't a 7th-grade barbarian sovereign be in the sovereign domain? Why did he come here? The people of the immortal court immediately became restless. Everyone's face looked extremely ugly. Heaven's sovereign was the same. He knew that this 7th-grade barbarian sovereign was here for his ancient elephant bloodline. However, Heaven's sovereign was not afraid. With his strength, it wouldn't be easy for a 7th-grade barbarian sovereign to kill him if he went all out. However, the old man in front of him was indeed terrifying. His cultivation realm had reached the peak of the 7th-grade barbarian sovereign realm. He was only a step away from reaching the 8th-grade barbarian sovereign realm. Heaven's sovereign had only recovered to the peak of his previous life. With his current talent, there was still a gap between him and Longshan and Han Yen.
Therefore, it was still somewhat difficult for him to deal with a peak 7th-grade barbarian sovereign.
Chapter 2093. Swoosh. As soon as the 7th-grade barbarian sovereign appeared, his eyes immediately locked onto Nangong Wentian. The ancient elephant bloodline in Nangong Wentian's body was too obvious, and the barbarian race was very sensitive to the ancient elephant bloodline. To think that a mere immortal court could make our barbarian race suffer such a great loss. Where's that Jiang Chen? The barbarian old man Lung Lung said. He was a peerless barbarian sovereign of the barbarian world, one step away from the 8th-grade barbarian sovereign realm. An ordinary 7th-grade barbarian sovereign couldn't be compared to him. If it was an ordinary 7th-grade barbarian sovereign, Nangong Wentian could deal with him alone. But this old man who was half a step away from the 8th-grade barbarian sovereign realm, Nangong Wentian had no confidence in dealing with him. The old man came to look for Jiang Chen. Obviously, he knew about the battle that happened 7 days ago. The reason why the barbarian world suffered such a great loss was because of a man named Jiang Chen. He had 2 goals in coming here. One was the ancient elephant bloodline. The other was to kill Jiang Chen and eliminate the future threat for the barbarian world. Jiang Chen isn't here, I'll fight you. Nangong Wentian took out the Million Stars ruler and appeared in front of the old man in a flash. His imposing manner was like a rainbow. Even though he was facing a powerful 7th-grade barbarian sovereign, even though he had no confidence in winning, there was no fear on his face. Not here? He's lucky. Then I'll kill you first and take your ancient elephant bloodline. Then I'll kill Jiang Chen. The old man emitted a strong killing intent. His terrifying aura formed a huge cage, covering Nangong Wentian. You're lucky that Jiang Chen isn't here. If I were you, I wouldn't come here to die. Isn't it better to stay in your barbarian world? Nangong Wentian said indifferently. I'm not here to talk nonsense with you. If you hand over your ancient elephant bloodline, I'll consider sparing your life. The old man said. Boom. Unfortunately, as soon as the old man finished speaking, Nangong Wentian's million-star ruler arrived and pressed down on the old man's head. He didn't come here to talk nonsense, so Nangong Wentian didn't want to waste his breath, refusing a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Courting death. The old man was infuriated. His aura of a peak 7th-grade barbarian sovereign was completely unleashed. A powerful battle blade appeared in his hand, rushing towards Nangong Wentian. Rumble. The 2 of them created an extraterritorial battlefield and fought until the sky turned dark. It was obvious that it would be extremely difficult for the 7th-grade barbarian sovereign elder to kill Nangong Wentian. However, Nangong Wentian had fallen into a disadvantageous position from the beginning. If this continued, he might not be the elder's opponent. What should we do? It seems like the Celestial Emperor is no match for that old man. Let's take action. We can be of some help. We can't continue fighting like this. Jiang Chen isn't here either. Ling LeCun and Feng Jingyang said. They immediately unleashed their powerful aura. Chi waves began to roll. The great sovereign weapons in their hands shone with boundless brilliance, preparing to fly towards the battlefield. Feng Jingyang and Ling LeCun were both 6th-grade great sovereigns. Seeing that Heaven's sovereign was in a disadvantageous position, they would be of some help if they took action now. Roar! Just when Feng Jingyang and Ling LeCun were about to help, an earth-shattering roar was suddenly heard from the inner part of the immortal court. Then, everyone saw an extremely mystical dragon horse appearing in the sky. The dragon horse was extremely valiant. Its body was emitting a dazzling golden light. Its body was covered with scales and there was a very eye-catching horn on its forehead. Look, it's so mystical. Is that De Huang? It's De Huang. His original form is a dragon horse, a powerful mutated dragon horse. He had eaten all the herbs in our immortal court. Looks like he has advanced quite a bit. It's a 6th grade demon sovereign. A 6th grade demon sovereign mutated dragon horse. Its combat strength is absolutely terrifying. I'm afraid that even a 7th grade barbarian sovereign is no match for it. Seeing the sudden appearance of De Huang Dog, the people of the immortal court were extremely excited. This was the first time they felt that eating all the herbs was something worth celebrating. At least, a 6th grade demon sovereign had been created. De Huang, hurry up! Nangong Wentian was extremely surprised and shouted when he saw De Huang Dog coming out from his seclusion. The 7th grade barbarian sovereign in front of him was too terrifying. He couldn't handle him alone. At this moment, even if Feng Jingyang and Ling LeCun were to take action at the same time, it wouldn't be enough. However, it would be different if De Huang Dog took action. Others might not know how powerful De Huang Dog was, but Nangong Wentian knew it very well. De Huang Dog, who was a 6th grade demon sovereign, could easily handle a 7th grade barbarian sovereign. Kaka, Grandpa is here. De Huang Dog laughed loudly. To him, it was an incomparably joyful thing to have a battle as soon as he came out from his seclusion. This guy who wished to see the world in chaos had just advanced to the 6th grade barbarian sovereign realm. If he was allowed to stay idle, he would definitely get sick. Roar! De Huang Dog let out a dragon roar towards the sky. His huge body was extremely fast. He turned into a ray of light and appeared in front of the old man in a blink of an eye. His huge head slammed towards the old man. The old man's facial expression changed slightly when he felt the powerful chi wave that was emitted from De Huang Dog's body. He only knew that there was a Jiang Chen in the immortal court when he came here, but he didn't expect that there was such a powerful demon sovereign hiding in the immortal court. However, the old man revealed a cold smile when he saw that De Huang Dog was using his weak head to attack him. From his point of view, using his head to attack was no different than courting death. Unfortunately, De Huang Dog's head was not weak at all. Those who had the same idea as the old man had always ended up in a miserable state. Go to hell! The old man suddenly slammed his palm towards De Huang Dog's head. From his point of view, if his palm hit De Huang Dog's head, his head would immediately be smashed and he would die miserably on the spot. Unfortunately, what happened next was something that the old man would never forget for the rest of his life. Boom! The dog's head and the old man's palm collided with each other fiercely. However, the scene of the old man's head being smashed did not happen. On the contrary, the old man's arm was smashed into pieces under the strong impact of the dog's head, causing blood to spurt out crazily. Arg! The old man let out a cry of shock. He couldn't believe what had happened in front of his eyes. He fell into an endless state of shock. De Huang Dog did not give the old man a chance to be shocked. He turned his body and aimed his fat butt at the old man's head. Fat! Nangong Wentian, who was about to attack, immediately turned around and ran away. He did not forget to give the old man a pitiful look before he ran away. Rumble! The old man, who had a dumbfounded expression, did not know what was going to happen. Suddenly, a thunderous sound was heard. A green chi exploded and hit the old man's body. Chapter 2094. Arg! A sharp scream came out from the old man's mouth. It sounded like the scream of a ghost, as if he had experienced the cruelest torture in the world. That kind of heart-wrenching scream made one's hair stand on its end. De Huang Dog's heaven and earth invincible fart was too terrifying. Apart from the unbearable stench, it also had an unparalleled lethality. Just like now, the old man who had lost an arm and his combat power was greatly reduced. He was caught off guard and suffered the supreme power of De Huang Dog's heaven and earth invincible fart. Not only did he faint on the spot, but he was also shrouded by the terrifying impact and his body was torn apart. Countless people were dumbfounded. The immortal court was in dead silence. Everyone didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This was probably the most useless 7th grade barbarian sovereign who had died in this world. He died with his eyes wide open. It was too tragic. He was killed by a single fart. There was no other way to die a more useless death. Kaka, you can't even withstand a single blow. De Huang Dog laughed. His body shook and returned to his original appearance. Looking at his yellow hair, it was hard to associate him with the brave dragon horse. Nangong Wentian gave a thumbs up to De Huang Dog. I'm impressed. I prostrate myself in admiration. Nangong Wentian's words came from the bottom of his heart. He couldn't help but admire De Huang Dog. In the entire immortal world, only De Huang Dog could kill a 7th-grade barbarian sovereign with a single fart. Countless eyes were looking at De Huang Dog with admiration. De Huang Dog was proud of himself. He enjoyed the feeling of being the center of attention.
Since the start of the war between the barbarian world and the immortal world, the barbarian world had suffered a great loss, especially the Xueqi immortal court. Not only did they lose 8 6th-grade barbarian sovereigns, they even lost a 7th-grade barbarian sovereign. Even though such a loss could not cause any fundamental damage to the powerful barbarian race, it was still a heavy blow to their morale. At the very least, the barbarian race needed to rebuild their morale for a period of time before they could choose to launch their second attack. Launching another war when their morale was low would not benefit the barbarian race at all. In the evening of the same day, Jiang Chen, Han Yan, Long San, and Tyrant had all returned and gathered at the Xueqi immortal court. The immortal world had temporarily regained its peace, and they had temporarily treated the Xueqi immortal court as their base camp. Little Chenzi, the barbarian tribe has been defeated, but they did not retreat back to the barbarian world. They have gathered at the westernmost edge of the immortal world. Should we go there and kill all the remaining barbarians? Long San said. There's no need to do that. The barbarians that have gathered there won't be any big waves for the time being. They are regrouping. But since they have chosen that location, they are not afraid of us attacking them. If I'm not mistaken, there must be a spatial passageway that connects to the base camp of the barbarian world. Even if we go there, they can still escape at any time, or send a powerful expert here. This catastrophe will definitely last for a long time. Now that the barbarian world needs to recover, so does our immortal world. Jiang Chen said, don't forget that this catastrophe came very suddenly. Most of the forces and people in the immortal world were caught unprepared, which resulted in a great loss for the immortal world. But because of our appearance, the barbarian world was defeated, and the morale of the immortal world was boosted. Now that the immortal world knows about the catastrophe, giving them some time to recover and get to know each other will be beneficial for the immortal world. We don't need to break the peace so soon. Little Chunzi is right. Many people in the immortal world are still unable to adapt to the sudden arrival of the catastrophe. Now, we need to give them some time to adapt and adjust their condition. Nangong Wentian said. That's so boring. De Huang Dog said in a bored tone. He was already prepared for a great war, but he didn't expect that there would be a truce now. Wasn't this infuriating? Don't worry. Once the barbarian world starts the war, it won't stop. Very soon, there will be a new move. The next move might not only be in the immortal world, but also in the sovereign domain. Jiang Chen said. He knew the nature and cruelty of the barbarian race. Once the war with the immortal world began, they would never retreat. Moreover, the barbarian race had suffered such a heavy loss. Their next attack would certainly be more ferocious. There was no doubt about this. Wait. The next time was to wait for the second move of the barbarian race. The entire immortal world was in a tense atmosphere, but all the people in the immortal world were ready for war. They were no longer defenseless like before, which led to a great loss. Moreover, the massacre of the barbarian race had aroused the fighting spirit and courage of the people in the immortal world. They wanted to avenge the dead. They wanted to continue defending the immortal world, to fight for their territory and dignity. Another 7 days later, a letter of challenge came from the west, floating above the sky of the Xueqi immortal courts. The contents of the letter of challenge were quickly spread to every region of the immortal court through the Xueqi immortal court. Everyone knew the contents of the letter of challenge. The peerless genius of the barbarian race, Wuke Tianxiang, wanted to challenge the genius of the immortal world, Jiang Chen, 1 day later. He wanted to fight to the death with Jiang Chen. The moment the letter of challenge was spread, it immediately stirred up a storm in the immortal world. Nobody knew anything about Wuke Tianxiang, but one thing was for sure. As the #1 genius of the barbarian world, Wuke Tianxiang was definitely not weak.
The people of the immortal world were not fools. They knew why the barbarian world had waited for such a long time for the number one genius to challenge Jiang Chen. To the immortal world, Jiang Chen was their backbone, the representative of the immortal world, the symbol of the immortal world's morale. As for the barbarian world, their morale had fallen to the lowest point due to the tragic loss they suffered last time. There were two reasons for Wuke Tianxiang to challenge Jiang Chen. One was to kill Jiang Chen, not only to raise the morale of the barbarian race, but also to get rid of a potential threat.
The other was to destroy the morale of the immortal world.
With Jiang Chen's current importance to the immortal world, it would undoubtedly be a great blow to the immortal world if Wuke Tianxiang killed Jiang Chen. At that time, the morale of the barbarian world would fall, and the barbarian world would launch a second round of crazy attack. Who is this Wuke Tianxiang?
The number one genius of the barbarian world.
I wonder what his cultivation realm is like? I'm guessing that he should be at least a 6th grade barbarian sovereign. I wonder if Jiang Chen can handle it.
Don't worry.
We must have faith in Jiang Chen.
He has created so many miracles.
The barbarian race is too cunning. They want to use this method to attack the morale of the immortal world and raise their morale. I have absolute faith in Jiang Chen. I believe that no matter if it's the immortal world or the barbarian world, there won't be a second Jiang Chen. Chapter 2095. A day later. At the westernmost part of the immortal world, the barbarian army had completely occupied this barren land. The entire sky was filled with a barbaric aura and the void was filled with rolling airwaves. Thousands and thousands of barbarian soldiers were ready for battle. Everyone's face was filled with excitement. These days, the barbarian army's morale was at its lowest point. They had just suffered a crushing defeat and they had lost their arrogance and vigor. But today was a very meaningful day for the barbarian race because their number one genius, Wuke Tianxiang, had come out from his seclusion. He was going to challenge the number one genius of the immortal world, Jiang Chen. This was the most representative battle between the immortal world and the barbarian world. It was a battle that would boost the barbarians' morale. Countless people were paying attention and looking forward to it. Jiang Chen's name was like a devil in their hearts. If it wasn't for Jiang Chen, they wouldn't have suffered such a crushing defeat in the first battle. All the barbarians hated and feared Jiang Chen. It was not an exaggeration to say that they hated him to the bone. Young Master Tianxiang wants to challenge Jiang Chen. Do you guys think that Jiang Chen dares to accept the challenge? Wouldn't it be better if he doesn't accept the challenge? It proves that Jiang Chen is afraid of our young Master Tianxiang. In this way, Jiang Chen's status as the war god in the hearts of countless immortals in the immortal world will be lost. In that case, the morale of the immortal world will drop. I think that Jiang Chen will definitely come. That guy is extremely arrogant and fearless. He once broke into our Wuke family alone and took away our Saintess. If that Jiang Chen comes, he will definitely die. Young Master Tianxiang is already a 6th grade barbarian sovereign. An ordinary 6th grade barbarian sovereign wouldn't be able to withstand a single strike from him. Even a 7th grade barbarian sovereign wouldn't be a match for young Master Tianxiang. That Jiang Chen is only a 4th grade great sovereign. There's such a huge gap between them. The barbarian race paid close attention to this battle. They were very confident in Wuke Tianxiang. At this moment, a young man dressed in black stood in the sky. His deep black eyes seemed to be able to see through everything. He stood there, his black robes fluttering in the wind as he endured the worship and respect of thousands of people. He looked into the distance as if he was waiting for something. Wuke Tianxiang was the number one genius of the barbarian race. With the cultivation of a 6th grade barbarian sovereign, he could kill a 7th grade barbarian sovereign with his bare hands. Dong dong dong. Suddenly, the dull sound of war drums came from the distant sky, like a clap of thunder. After that, the army of the immortal world appeared out of thin air. Judging from the formation of the army, they were not any weaker than the barbarian world. Today was a major event in both the immortal world and the barbarian world. Countless major powers in the immortal world were shaken. Many people wanted to witness this peerless battle with their own eyes. It was a battle that represented the pinnacle of the younger generation. At this moment, standing at the forefront of the immortal world were Jiang Chen, Longsha San, De Huang Dog, Tyrant, and Han Yen. Those who followed behind him were all people from the immortal world who came willingly. They all wanted to witness this historic moment with their own eyes. Swoosh! After Jiang Chen appeared, a gaze immediately fell on him. Jiang Chen met that gaze. It was Wu Tianxiang who was standing in the sky. This person is very strong. Little Chenzi, why don't you let me go? Long San said. Let me go. This battle has a different meaning. It's more suitable for me to go. Jiang Chen said. All right, be careful. Long San nodded. He understood what Jiang Chen meant. The battle between Jiang Chen and Wu Tianxiang was not just a simple battle. It represented both the immortal world and the barbarian world. To the entire immortal world, Jiang Chen's influence was obviously greater than Long San's. Therefore, Jiang Chen carried the hopes of countless people in the immortal world. Once he wins, the impact on the morale of the immortal world would be unimaginable. Jiang Chen took a step forward and turned into his dragon form, arriving in front of Wu Tianxiang. Their gazes met and the aura of both sides started to rise. Jiang Chen, you snatched away the saintess of my Wuka family and killed so many experts of my barbarian race. Today shall be the day you die. Wu Tianxiang said in an incomparably overbearing manner. I'm afraid that the one who will die in the end will not be me, but you, the #1 genius of the barbarian race. Jiang Chen sneered. Cut the crap. Let's fight. I would like to see how a 4th-grade great sovereign like you is going to fight against me. Wu Tianxiang's aura was unstoppable. He was already prepared for battle. Wang Wang. At this moment, a buzzing sound was heard from the sky. A giant mirror appeared in the sky. At the same time, the giant mirror split into countless clones and flew towards different directions of the immortal world. Great Thousand Mirror. Jiang Chen's expression changed. He recognized this mirror. Back in the Golden Horizon, the Great Thousand Mirror had appeared once. It recorded part of the previous catastrophe. Look, that's the legendary Great Thousand Mirror. According to the records, the Great Thousand Mirror is an invisible mirror of the immortal world. It will only appear during the catastrophe and record part of the battle. Now that Jiang Chen and Wu Tianxiang are fighting, the Great Thousand Mirror has appeared once again. The Great Thousand Mirror has split into many mirrors and appeared in different areas. This battle is too significant to the immortal world and the barbarian world. Hence, the Great Thousand Mirror wants everyone who can't be here to witness the battle. Later, the battle between Jiang Chen and Wu Tianxiang will be recorded by the Great Thousand Mirror. Then, everyone in the immortal world will be able to see the battle through those split mirrors. Great! In this way, once Jiang Chen wins, the morale of the immortal world will be boosted beyond imagination. See, I have confidence in Jiang Chen. He has never disappointed anyone. The appearance of the Great Thousand Mirror had set off a storm. This legendary mirror had only appeared twice in the past. The first time was during the catastrophe. The second time was in the Golden Horizon. This was the third time. Everyone knew that the Great Thousand Mirror would only take the initiative to record the historical moment at the most crucial moment. Even the Great Thousand Mirror had appeared in today's battle. One could imagine the importance of the battle between Jiang Chen and Wu Tianxiang. It was destined to be remembered for generations to come. Under the sky, Wu Tianxiang was the first to move. He waved his hand and a barbaric dragon was shot out, causing the space around it to distort. Roar! The barbaric dragon roared furiously and charged towards Jiang Chen. Fire Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen wasn't afraid. He waved his hand and struck out a powerful Fire Dragon Seal. The terrifying Fire Dragon was 100 zhong in size and clashed with the barbaric dragon. Rumble! A piece of space was completely destroyed. Such a battle was too shocking. It had just started and it had already destroyed the heavens and earth. At this moment, the shadow of the Great Thousand Mirror appeared in the sky of countless areas in the immortal world. The situation of the battle was revealed to everyone. Chapter 2096. Look, the mirror is projecting the battle between Jiang Chen and Wu Tianxiang. That's right. The battle has begun. This should be the legendary Great Thousand Mirror. Even though we can't go to the scene, we can still see the battle clearly through the mirror. That genius of the barbarian race is really powerful. His cultivation base has reached the 6th grade barbarian sovereign, 2 levels higher than Jiang Chen. I wonder if Jiang Chen is a match for him. Countless people became restless. Their eyes fell on the projection of the Great Thousand Mirror in the sky without blinking. The battle between Jiang Chen and Wu Tianxiang had long attracted everyone's attention. However, only a few of them could go to the west to watch the battle. Most of them were waiting for the news of Jiang Chen's victory. At this moment, being able to witness the battle scene with their own eyes was an extremely exciting thing for everyone. The battle that was being watched by tens of thousands of people caused the entire immortal court to become strangely quiet. No one said a word. They just stared at the great thousand mirror in the sky without blinking, not willing to miss any exciting scene of the battle. Rumble. In the sky, the fire dragon and the barbarian dragon collided with each other and disappeared in the end. Unexpectedly, the first collision was a draw. This guy really has something that can restrain the barbarian race. However, my ancient barbarian bloodline is purer. This kind of restraint is very rare for me. Wuke Tianxiang's face was filled with shock. Even though Jiang Chen's restraint did not have much effect on him, he still felt embarrassed that he could fight a 4th grade great sovereign to a draw with his peak 6th grade barbarian sovereign cultivation base. Who was he? He was the #1 genius of the barbarian race. He had the purest bloodline of the barbarian race and the powerful ancient barbarian physique. Experts of the same level as him could kill him in one strike. However, he couldn't even take down a 4th grade great sovereign. Wuke Tianxiang couldn't help but pay more attention to his opponent. On the other side, Jiang Chen was equally shocked. This guy's ancient barbarian blood is quite pure, so my flames don't have much of an effect on him. No wonder he's the #1 genius of the barbarian tribe. It looks like I've met my match today, but that's good. If there wasn't any challenge, then it would be too boring. Jiang Chen was also shocked. However, his expression was soon replaced with excitement. He was a person who loved challenges. The stronger the opponent, the more it could stimulate his battle intent. Wuke Tianxiang's strength made Jiang Chen feel that this battle was worth it. Jiang Chen felt that this battle was worth it. Little Chenzi, this guy has the ancient barbarian combat body. He's not that easy to deal with. Your restraint on barbarians is useless against him. De Huang Dog reminded. This dog's eyesight is pretty good. It can actually see through my battle constitution. Wuke Tianxiang glanced at De Huang Dog and sneered. The ending is the same. Jiang Chen's aura shook. His entire body was filled with a majestic battle intent. It wasn't easy for him to meet an opponent of a higher level. Today he must have a good fight. Boom. Jiang Chen moved. He struck out with the true dragon palm. The terrifying dragon claw was like a heavenly barrier, forming a bloody cage that slammed towards Wuke Tianxiang. Ancient barbarian divine fist. Wuke Tianxiang also moved. He struck out with the ancient barbarian divine fist. A huge fist that looked like it came from the ancient times appeared in the sky. In an instant, the huge fist and the equally huge dragon claw filled the sky, shaking and tearing it apart. Rumble. The heavens and earth roared. Destructive shockwaves were released. These shockwaves were extremely terrifying. If they were to fall down, just these shockwaves alone would be enough to destroy a world. It would be a disaster for the barbarian tribe and the immortal world's army below. The rumbling sounds did not stop. Subsequently, Jiang Chen and Wuke Tianxiang fought for half an hour. They destroyed more than a dozen battlefields, but there was still no winner. The scene in the Great Thousand Mirror was completely messed up. No one could see what was happening clearly. However, everyone knew that Wuke Tianxiang and Jiang Chen had met a true opponent this time. It wouldn't be easy to determine the winner in such a short period of time. This fella is very strong. Xueqi could not help but sigh. He was rubbing his hands anxiously. He could not wait to rush up and replace Jiang Chen. A powerful ancient barbarian battle constitution. It's comparable to your battle constitution in the ancient times. Naturally, it's extremely terrifying. De Huang Dog said. In countless regions of the immortal world, everyone's expression was filled with anxiety. This battle is too terrifying. To think that the barbarian world has such a monstrous genius. Fortunately, Jiang Chen is not weak either. Wuke Tianxiang is a 6th grade barbarian sovereign while Jiang Chen is only a 4th grade great sovereign. If that's the case, there's still a gap between Wuke Tianxiang and Jiang Chen. If the two of them were at the same level, I'm afraid that Wuke Tianxiang would not be able to withstand a single strike from Jiang Chen. Now is not the time to talk about cultivation base. What matters now is combat strength. I wonder if Jiang Chen will win in the end. Don't worry. I'm very confident in Jiang Chen. He has created many miracles in the immortal world. The battle was too intense. Everyone in the immortal world and barbarian world who were paying attention to this battle were extremely shocked. In the beginning, they were extremely confident in their own geniuses. However, after fighting for such a long time, their confidence was greatly reduced. No one could tell who would win in the battle between Jiang Chen and Wuke Tianxiang. Jiang Chen, you are indeed the most heaven-defying existence that I have ever seen. However, no matter how much of a genius you are, you will die in my hands today. Barbarian God Possession. Wuke Tianxiang became excited after being beaten up. He shouted and his body began to change tremendously. In an instant, he grew more than 10 zhang tall and turned into a giant. His body shone brightly and the powerful ancient barbarian battle constitution suppressed all directions. At this moment, he was like a barbarian god descending upon the world. He threw a punch at Jiang Chen. That punch created a huge hole in the sky. His fist went through the space and hit towards Jiang Chen. Slaughter Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen did not hesitate and released his terrifying Tao of Slaughter. At this moment, he had completely turned into a god of slaughter. A terrifying slaughter dragon was unleashed by him. Following that, he turned into a true dragon and fused with the slaughter dragon, turning himself into a slaughter dragon. Slaughter. Slaughter the world. Exterminate everything. In an instant, the entire battlefield was shrouded by a terrifying slaughter intent. It was a boundless and tyrannical pressure. Roar. The slaughter dragon roared and charged towards Wuke Tianxiang's ancient barbarian battle constitution. Chapter 2097. Rumble. The extraterritorial battlefield instantly collapsed. The ancient barbarian combat physique versus the true dragon physique. The slaughter dragon seal's power was boundless and it almost carried the killing intent of the entire Grand Tao. In addition to the heavenly Tao unification that Jiang Chen had already comprehended, even Wuke Tianxiang couldn't withstand this full-force attack. Dong dong dong. Wuke Tianxiang's ancient barbarian combat physique was forced to retreat a dozen steps before he managed to stabilize himself. His hair was in a mess and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. This scene was witnessed by everyone from the immortal world and barbarian world. Naturally, both sides had different reactions. For the immortal world, Jiang Chen had finally gained the upper hand. This was undoubtedly a huge boost to the morale of the entire immortal world. Look, Jiang Chen has gained the upper hand. Wuke Tianxiang was forced to retreat under that full-force attack. I knew that Jiang Chen wouldn't disappoint us. He's an unparalleled prodigy, unimaginably ferocious. Let's not celebrate too early. The battle isn't over yet. Wuke Tianxiang was only forced to retreat. It doesn't affect his overall battle strength much. The number one prodigy of the barbarian world definitely has a powerful trump card. The entire immortal world was in an uproar. No matter what, Jiang Chen had finally gained the upper hand and broke the stalemate. To the people of the immortal world, this was an extremely exciting thing. However, no matter how excited they were, they would not be blindly happy. Because they knew that even though Wuke Tianxiang was defeated, it did not affect his battle strength much. He had the powerful ancient barbarian battle physique. As the number one genius of the barbarian world, no one would believe that he did not have any powerful trump cards. On the battlefield, Wuke Tianxiang's eyes were filled with shock. He didn't want to believe that his opponent could still force him to retreat or even injure him after he unleashed the ancient barbarian combat physique. This caused Wuke Tianxiang's attitude towards Jiang Chen to change once again. He had to re-evaluate Jiang Chen's strength. Jiang Chen, looks like I'll have to use some tricks to kill you today. Wuke Tianxiang Lang said. Although he was forced back, it did not affect his confidence. Just like what many people thought, he still had an extremely powerful trump card. Wuke Tianxiang, use whatever methods you have. Jiang Chen's aura was like a rainbow. Facing the incomparably powerful Wuke Tianxiang, his battle intent soared to the heavens. Wuke Tianxiang had a powerful trump card, but he, Jiang Chen, had never used his full strength. Divine Sun-Destroying Chakram. Wuke Tianxiang roared. He grabbed the void with his hand and a black ball appeared in his hand. The spear was about 100 feet in circumference and was covered in saw teeth. There were complicated patterns branded on the spear, and there was a picture of the god of berserkers on the front of the spear. The moment the warhammer appeared, the entire sky changed. An apocalyptic aura spread out. The warhammer was like a god of death, causing people's hearts to tremble and their souls to tremble. Motherfucker! This guy has mastered the divine sun-destroying chakram. De Huang Dog cried out in surprise when he saw the appearance of the warhammer. His expression became slightly nervous. What's that? It looks powerful. It's a powerful barbarian weapon of the barbarian race. Han Yen said. It's not just powerful. The divine sun-destroying chakram is the pinnacle barbarian weapon of the barbarian race. There's a picture of the god of berserkers on it. Only those with the true ancient barbarian combat physique can control it. However, this divine sun-destroying chakram had disappeared for a long time. I never thought that it would appear again today and be under Wuka Tianxiang's control. De Huang Dog said in shock. Rumor has it that if someone could completely fuse with the divine sun-destroying chakram, he would become invincible. This warhammer can destroy the heavens and earth. It can form a cage of the heavens and earth, destroying everything within it. I guess it's impossible for Wuka Tianxiang to completely control the divine sun-destroying chakram with his strength of a 6th-grade barbarian sovereign. However, little Chenzi still needs to be careful. Hearing De Huang Dog's words, the surrounding people became nervous. Although Jiang Chen had the upper hand before, Wuka Tianxiang now looked extremely powerful. That divine sun-destroying chakram had reached a level that could make people's souls tremble. Haha, who in the world can fight against the divine sun-destroying chakram? Jiang Chen will definitely die under the divine sun-destroying chakram. The people of the barbarian race became excited. They worshipped the legendary divine sun-destroying chakram more than ordinary people. It was like their totem. It was a powerful belief. In the hearts of countless people of the barbarian race, as long as the divine sun-destroying chakram appeared, it would mean invincibility. No matter how powerful Jiang Chen was, he would still die under the divine sun-destroying chakram. Swoosh! Jiang Chen's arms trembled. The heavenly dragon sword in his left hand and the gold feather fan in his right hand. Flames were burning on top of the heavenly dragon and golden crow's shadow. It looked extremely powerful. In terms of aura, it was not any weaker than Wuka Tianxiang's divine sun-destroying chakram. Wuka Tianxiang couldn't help but frown when he saw the gold feather fan. As the barbarian race's biggest nemesis, they had a bad impression of the gold feather fan. Jiang Chen, I will destroy this damned gold feather fan today. I will let the divine sun-destroying chakram's radiance shine on every corner of the immortal world. Wuka Tianxiang's entire body was filled with a domineering aura. He directly poured his primordial spirit and origin energy into the divine sun-destroying chakram. His entire body and the chakram became one. Divine sun-destroying chakram, heaven and earth extermination. Wuka Tianxiang's voice reached the sky. A terrifying chakram was unleashed by him. The gigantic chakram started to enlarge the moment it left Wuka Tianxiang's body. In a blink of an eye, it became a few hundred times bigger. It almost covered the entire sky and earth, completely enveloping Jiang Chen. So. Following that, a barbaric and tyrannical black light rushed out from the chakram. These light rays formed a gigantic cage, sealing the entire battlefield. Naturally, Jiang Chen was also trapped inside. This was the true terror of the divine sun-destroying chakram. Once it locked onto the opponent would not be able to escape from this area. At this moment, Jiang Chen stood in the area sealed by the chakram. His expression did not change at all. He looked towards the sky and realized that the environment here had completely changed. This place seemed to have turned into another world. There were flashes of swords and shadows of the barbarian god. Seeing this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but reveal a smile. This place was like an illusory realm. As long as he could break this illusory realm and break the seal of the divine sun extinguishing chakram, Wuka Tianxiang's attack would collapse on its own. However, Wuka Tianxiang and the chakram had fused into one. Their minds were connected. It was an extremely difficult task to break it. Chapter 2098. Rumble. Rumbling sounds could be heard continuously in the sky. Destructive airwaves were everywhere. The radiance from the divine sun extinguishing chakram formed a world of its own. Those who were trapped inside would not only suffer from the powerful attacks of the divine sun extinguishing chakram, they would also be affected by the environment. Not to mention losing themselves, it would greatly affect their combat power. Jiang Chen, you are trapped inside my divine sun extinguishing chakram. Let's see how you will die. Wuka Tianxiang's voice echoed in the world of the divine sun extinguishing chakram. His voice came from all directions. No one knew where it came from. Under such circumstances, it would be extremely easy for Wuka Tianxiang to launch a sneak attack. Jiang Chen stood in the divine sun extinguishing chakram with the gold feather fan and the heavenly dragon sword in his hands. His aura was like a rainbow, unmoving like a mountain. His pair of dragon eyes shone brilliantly. His powerful soul power kept drifting, not affected by the environment of the divine sun extinguishing chakram. Jiang Chen initially wanted to use the great illusion realm to deal with the divine sun extinguishing chakram, but he gave up on it in the end. Because the world formed by the divine sun extinguishing chakram was real and not an illusion. Moreover, Wuka Tianxiang could attack him any time inside the divine sun extinguishing chakram. Even if he used the great illusion realm, it would be useless against the divine sun extinguishing chakram. Jiang Chen did not want to do useless things. He was prepared to rely on brute force to destroy the divine sun extinguishing chakram to show his strength. Rumble. Wuka Tianxiang attacked. All his attacks were made with the help of the divine sun extinguishing chakram. An incomparably dark radiance rushed out from the divine sun extinguishing chakram like a sharp sword. In a blink of an eye, it reached Jiang Chen's head. Swoosh! Jiang Chen swung his arm and the heavenly dragon sword struck the black radiance, destroying it. Swoosh swoosh! Soon after, countless black radiance rushed out from the divine sun extinguishing chakram. Each radiance carried a destructive energy, wanting to destroy all living beings inside the divine sun extinguishing chakram. Jiang Chen was not afraid at all. He was like an unparalleled god of war. He opened and closed his gold feather fan, sending out countless beams of dazzling golden light. In an instant, the black divine wheel world was completely illuminated. Many valiant golden ravens floated in the air. Every golden crow was the essence that shot out from the gold feather fan. When they were truly transformed into attacks, they were extremely powerful against the black light in the divine sun extinguishing chakram. Since the first catastrophe of the ancient times, the gold feather fan had been the greatest nemesis of the divine sun extinguishing chakram. Now that he had the gold feather fan, Jiang Chen wasn't afraid of the divine sun extinguishing chakram at all. Rumble. The golden ravens danced in the sky, and the pure-blooded dragons roared. The entire divine chakra world was thrown into turmoil. Huge cracks appeared in the surroundings. It seemed like the divine chakra world could be destroyed at any moment. Jiang Chen, my divine chakram can unleash all kinds of powerful attacks endlessly. The moment you fell into it, it was already a sign of death. So what if you have the gold feather fan? Today, I want to see to what extent can you use the gold feather fan. Wuka Tianxiang was extremely arrogant. He had extraordinary confidence in his divine chakram. From his point of view, even if Jiang Chen could use the gold feather fan, it would be extremely taxing on Jiang Chen if the battle dragged on. On the other hand, Wuka Tianxiang could use the gold feather fan to unleash powerful attacks at any time. Wuka Tianxiang believed that as long as Jiang Chen showed any signs of running out of energy, he would be able to find Jiang Chen's weakness and kill him. Then come. Watch me destroy your divine sun extinguishing chakram with brute force. Jiang Chen shouted. He let out an earth-shattering dragon roar. Under countless shocked gazes, he shook his body and completely turned into a pure-blooded dragon. The blood-colored pure-blooded dragon was dozens of feet long. The divine might that it emitted was like that of a real ancestral dragon. Dragon and sword unite. Heavenly Tao unite. Nomological unite. Jiang Chen's voice was like thunder. He shouted 3 times in a row. That huge dragon body completely turned into a sharp sword, and the heavenly dragon sword turned into a pure-blooded dragon. At this moment, the dragon and sword unite. Then, a dazzling nomological radiance appeared above Jiang Chen's head. There was only one nomological radiance, but it seemed to be the only one in the world. It was a supreme existence. It was the development of the great Tao. Under the impact of the great Tao nomological radiance, the divine sun extinguishing chakram started to tremble violently. Under the great Tao, everything had to fear. Dragon sword, nomological radiance, heavenly Tao, and a huge gold feather fan. At the same time, thousands of pure-blooded dragon shadows danced and circled around Jiang Chen's body. These pure-blooded dragon shadows were shot out from the dragon marks in his body. The scene was too spectacular. Even the divine chakram world couldn't overshadow Jiang Chen's radiance. At this moment, Jiang Chen merged all his energy, all the great Tao nomological radiance, the heavenly dragon sword, and the gold feather fan together. His entire body became a huge energy body. The energy that was released was enough to destroy everything. Oh my god! What kind of attack is that? It's too powerful. This is Jiang Chen's trump card. He's using all his strength. Even the divine chakram world can't control him. That's a destructive energy. There's nothing that can withstand such a huge amount of energy. If Jiang Chen breaks the divine sun extinguishing chakram, Wuke Tianxiang will be finished. The people of the immortal world were excited again. The scene of thousands of pure-blooded chakram world was too shocking. It was like a scene of an overturning sea. It felt so unreal. No one would believe such a scene if they didn't see it with their own eyes. Damn it. How can this guy have such a huge amount of energy? Moreover, his energy is pure yang. Adding the impact of the gold feather fan, even my divine sun extinguishing chakram won't be able to withstand it. Wuke Tianxiang's expression changed. He didn't expect Jiang Chen's trump card to be so powerful. Now the divine chakram world was shaking violently and could collapse at any time. At such a crucial moment, Wuke Tianxiang didn't dare to be careless. He unleashed the ancient barbarian combat physique to its limit. Boundless energy was poured into the divine sun extinguishing chakram. Wuke Tianxiang could see that this was Jiang Chen's ultimate attack. This attack could possibly break his divine chakram world. Once the divine chakram world is broken, he would suffer a huge backlash. At that time, he would be utterly defeated. At the same time, as long as he could hold on and his divine chakram could withstand Jiang Chen's powerful attack, it would be Jiang Chen's doomsday. So, the most crucial moment had arrived. Both Wuke Tianxiang and Jiang Chen were fighting with their lives on the line. They didn't dare to be careless. Hoo-hoo. The divine chakram rotated even more violently, causing the divine chakram world to become even more condensed and indestructible. Perish for meal. Chapter 2099. Rumble. A huge hole was formed in the sky, and this was the aftermath of the collision. Jiang Chen's attack carried the power that surpassed his peak. It was a powerful attack that he had never used in any battle before. It was a fusion of everything he had. This was the pinnacle of the battle. Victory or defeat would be decided by this move. Under countless shocked gazes, Jiang Chen turned into a true dragon. The dragon was like a sword, and the golden feather fan turned into a lifelike golden crow. Both of them attacked at the same time. Even a powerful divine wheel would not be able to withstand such a huge amount of energy. A huge hole was created in the black divine wheel world by Jiang Chen. Rumble. The shockwave rolled again. After the spirit wheel world was destroyed, the sun-extinguishing divine chakram that was hovering in the sky suddenly suffered a backlash from the energy and was sent flying. At the same time, Wuke Tianxiang himself was also sent flying. His divine chakra world was broken, and he suffered an extremely strong backlash. His body suffered unimaginable damage. In other words, Wuke Tianxiang was like a deflated balloon. He couldn't even maintain half of his battle power. In this state, Wuke Tianxiang could no longer fight against Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, who was still unparalleled, no longer put Wuke Tianxiang in his eyes. Haha, victory. Jiang Chen is mighty. He destroyed the spirit wheel. Wuke Tianxiang can't do it anymore. Kill the #1 genius of the barbarian race. Everyone in the immortal world became excited and cheered. Their previously nervous hearts finally relaxed. The moment Jiang Chen defeated Wuke Tianxiang, the morale of the immortal world surged like a tide. On the other hand, the faces of the barbarian world's people became extremely ugly. Their previous confidence and imposing manner had completely disappeared. Everyone felt a sense of defeat in their hearts. Ever since the war between the immortal world and the barbarian world had suffered countless defeats. Now they wanted to rely on Wuke Tianxiang to defeat Jiang Chen and raise their morale. Who would have thought that the human genius was so powerful that even the #1 genius of the barbarian world was not his match? Roar. Jiang Chen let out a dragon roar once again. With a shake of his body, he returned to his half-human half-dragon form. He kept the gold feather fan and held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand. He then used the Great Void technique and chased after Wuke Tianxiang. Jiang Chen understood very well that it was better to strike while the enemy was weak. A heaven-defying genius like Wuke Tianxiang must not be given a chance to breathe. If they couldn't kill him today, he would become a huge disaster in the future. Quick! Protect young Master Tianxiang. A 7th-grade barbarian sovereign shouted in fright. After that, he and the other 7th grade barbarian sovereign chased after Wuka Tianxiang, wanting to save him before Jiang Chen did. These two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns were elders of the Wuka family. They came with Wuka Tianxiang this time to prevent any accidents from happening. Now that Wuka Tianxiang was defeated and was about to die in Jiang Chen's hands, they naturally had to take action. After all, Wuka Tianxiang was too important to the barbarian race. He had the powerful ancient barbarian combat physique and was the only genius in the barbarian world that could not be suppressed by Jiang Chen. It was a great loss to the barbarian race if he were to die here. Monkey! De Huang! Jiang Chen shouted. His eyes were locked on Wuka Tianxiang. As for the other two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns, he didn't have the time to care about them. He left them to Long Shan and De Huang to handle. Swoosh! Swoosh! Even without Jiang Chen's reminder, Long Shan and De Huang had already rushed out the moment the two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns made their move. These two guys were the freaks among freaks. Their speed was extremely fast. In a blink of an eye, they were already in front of the two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns. Get lost! The 7th grade barbarian sovereign was enraged. His horrifying big hand was about to grab Long Shan. Exterminate! Long Shan pushed both of his palms forward and struck out the horrifying exterminate symbol art. This was the most destructive technique of the Battle Saint technique. With his strength, killing an ordinary 7th grade barbarian sovereign with the exterminate symbol art was a piece of cake. Rumble! Arg! Half of the 7th grade barbarian sovereign's body was smashed by Long Shan's exterminate symbol art. He died on the spot. Arg! At the same time on the other side, the 7th grade barbarian sovereign was also killed by a bolt of lightning that came out from De Huang Dog's glabella. In a blink of an eye, two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns died on the battlefield. They couldn't even withstand a single attack from Long Shan and De Huang. Their deaths could only be described as miserable. A black portal appeared in the sky and sucked the two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns into it. Long Shan and De Huang were not surprised by such a situation. They knew that it was Jiang Chen who used the Zulong Tower to absorb the two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns. With Jiang Chen's current strength, if he were to absorb the two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns and Wuka Tianxiang, he would have no problem advancing to the 5th grade great sovereign realm. Jiang Chen had already arrived in front of Wuka Tianxiang. The heavenly dragon sword in his hand slashed downwards, ignoring the fear on Wuka Tianxiang's face. With just one slash, Wuka Tianxiang was cut into two halves. The number one genius of the barbarian world had fallen just like that. Even the divine sun extinguishing chakram was taken away by Jiang Chen. To the barbarian world, this was a great loss. Buzz! After absorbing Wuka Tianxiang, the 70th floor of the Zulong Tower was completely condensed. The number of dragon marks in Jiang Chen's body had reached 1,910,000. 1,910,000 was the level of a 5th grade great sovereign. A large amount of sovereign-grade immortal metastones were refined and absorbed by Jiang Chen. Very soon, his cultivation base had completely stabilized at the 5th grade great sovereign realm. After advancing to the 5th grade great sovereign realm, Jiang Chen's combat strength had become even more terrifying. Even an ordinary 8th grade barbarian sovereign would die without a doubt. Kill! At the moment when Wuka Tianxiang fell, Han Yen let out a roar and charged towards the barbarian world's army. After that, all the people of the immortal world raised their combat weapons and charged towards the barbarian world. The morale of the immortal world was extremely high. On the other hand, the barbarian world was like a group of headless dragons, running around like headless flies. Some of them opened up the passageway to the barbarian world and escaped. Little Chenzi, what should we do now? Should we seal everything here and kill all the barbarian race's people? Long Shan approached Jiang Chen and said, No need. There's no point in killing all the barbarian race's people. It's better to give the others a chance to gain experience and kill. The barbarian race has suffered a great loss this time. If I'm not wrong, I'm afraid that they will launch a large-scale war against the sovereign domain soon. Chapter 2100. In this battle, Wuka Tianxiang, two 7th grade barbarian sovereigns died tragically. Countless barbarian soldiers were massacred. The remaining barbarian soldiers returned to the barbarian world through the void passage. The immortal world cheered. This was an unimaginably huge victory for the immortal world. Such a victory greatly boosted everyone's morale. In the following days,
The immortal world was in a state of peace. The barbarian world did not launch another attack after suffering such a huge loss. However, everyone knew that the catastrophe was not over yet. The barbarian world could launch a bigger attack at any time. The next attack would most likely trigger a decisive battle. Moreover, the next battlefield might have to be shifted to the sovereign domain. Fengqi Immortal Court. Everyone gathered together. Jiang Chen, Longsha San, De Huang Dog, Han Yan, Tyrant, Old Ancestor Green Lotus, Tian Peng Evil Emperor, Jin Yuansuan, the sovereign lords of the 9 immortal courts and countless higher-ups of the immortal world gathered together. Everyone's gaze fell upon Jiang Chen. Although Jiang Chen was only a 5th grade great sovereign, he was the leader of the entire immortal world. He was the backbone of the immortal world. Even the sovereign lords had to listen to his arrangements. Everyone knew that if it wasn't for Jiang Chen, the immortal world would have been finished. Only a few of them could stand here and speak at this moment. The 9 immortal courts had received help from Jiang Chen and Longsha San. There was no doubt about it. Jiang Chen was once the archenemy of the 3 immortal courts. Now that the enmity between them had been completely resolved, all enmity was meaningless at this crucial moment. Protecting the immortal world together was the most important thing. Jiang Chen, the barbarian world has not launched an attack for many days. What should we do next? Radiant's sovereign lord asked. The barbarian world will definitely launch another attack. I have used the great divination art to predict that the next attack will be against the sovereign domain. The immortal world will not be in danger for the time being. Jiang Chen said. Oh, doesn't that mean that the immortal world will not have another war? The ethereal sovereign lord said. No, the sovereign domain is actually a part of the immortal world. Starting a war with the sovereign domain is equivalent to starting a war with the immortal world. Now that the passageway between the sovereign domain and the immortal world has been completely opened, and the barbarian world is powerful, even if we start an ultimate war with the sovereign domain, it is still possible for them to continue attacking the immortal world. Moreover, the sovereign domain is still relatively weak compared to the higher-ups of the barbarian world. Once the sovereign domain is defeated, the immortal world will still face destruction. Jiang Chen said. Everyone present here frowned when they heard this. All of them were clearly aware that Jiang Chen wasn't wrong in the slightest. The immortal dimension and imperial region were actually a single entity, and they both belonged to the immortal dimension. The calamity descending to the imperial region was no different from descending to the immortal dimension. The barbarian dimension's final objective was to occupy the immortal dimension. So, once the imperial region fell, then the immortal dimension would be completely finished. This was an undeniable fact. Brother, what should we do now? Tian Peng Evil Emperor asked. I'm going to head straight to the sovereign domain. I will definitely participate in the ultimate war with the barbarian world. All of you are experts of the immortal world. In my opinion, you can also head to the sovereign domain together. Once the ultimate war starts, you will be able to put your skills to good use. At that time, Sovereign Taishu will personally open the spatial passageway between the sovereign domain and the immortal world. We can monitor the situation here at all times. Jiang Chen said. All right, let's head to the sovereign domain and start a massacre with the barbarian world. Dragon Shursan was the first to agree. Big Yellow, Han Yan and the others were the same. Their faces were filled with excitement, and they were itching to join the battle. They were all battle maniacs. Since the final battle was about to begin, it would be worse for them if they weren't allowed to participate in it. I'll go too. I must contribute to the war with the barbarian world. Tian Peng Evil Emperor said. How can I be left out of this? Mi Luo Sovereign Lord said. Following that, the other experts also expressed their decision to follow Jiang Chen to the sovereign domain to participate in the ultimate war. Everyone's face was filled with excitement and determination. No one could be sure if they could survive such a calamity, but no one would choose to retreat at such a time. Everyone here was a powerful figure at the sovereign lord level. Which one of them didn't have the slightest bit of courage? To everyone here, even if they died in this calamity, it would be a worthy death. All right. In that case, everyone, go back and make your arrangements. We'll head to the sovereign domain together tomorrow. Jiang Chen said. The sovereign lords left one after another, preparing to head to the sovereign domain after making some arrangements in the immortal court. Early the next morning, Jiang Chen led all the higher-ups of the immortal court and tore open the spatial passageway to the sovereign domain. The ultimate war was about to begin. The sovereign domain was still in a peaceful state. However, Everyone in the sovereign domain was very clear about the catastrophe of the immortal world. Even the scene of the battle between Jiang Chen and Wu Tianxiang was transmitted to them by the Great Thousand Mirror. In the entire sovereign domain, everyone was familiar with the name Jiang Chen. Even Sovereign Taishu and the other 9th grade great sovereigns were full of praises for Jiang Chen. They called Jiang Chen a rare genius that only appears once in 10,000 years. Sovereign Taishu even said that the fate of the immortal world could very well be in Jiang Chen's hands. He was a terrifying figure that could possibly turn the tide of the immortal world around. Hung Long. The originally peaceful sovereign domain suddenly exploded with a loud rumble. Then, the entire sky darkened. The barbarian race's incomparably tyrannical aura came pressing down on the sovereign domain. The barbarian race's army has arrived. Everyone, get ready for battle. The ultimate war has arrived. The existence of the sovereign domain has finally come into play. It's finally here. I've made sufficient preparations to fight the barbarian race. The sovereign domain was in an uproar when the war arrived. Every huge city was on guard. The division of forces in the sovereign domain was different from the immortal world. There were dozens of huge cities in the sovereign domain. The closer the city was to the center, the stronger the city was, and the higher the cultivation of the city lord. Most of the city lords were 8th grade great sovereigns. Now that the war had begun, the cities were fighting individually. As for Sovereign Taishu and the others, they would not take any action for the time being. They and the 12 old ancestors of the barbarian world were on guard against each other. Chapter 2101. Quicksand City was a city located at the edge of the sovereign domain. Currently, Yang Junlong was in charge of Quicksand City. His cultivation base had reached the terrifying 7th grade Great Sovereign Realm. Facing the black barbarian army that appeared in the sky above Quicksand City, Yang Junlong's eyes lit up, displaying an extremely powerful aura. The leader of the barbarian race was a 7th grade barbarian sovereign elder of the Wulei family. He wore a huge crown on his head, looking extraordinary. There were 2 7th grade barbarian sovereigns standing behind him. The rest of them were barbarian sovereigns. The war against the sovereign domain was a battle between the higher-ups. All of them were barbarian sovereigns. On the side of Quicksand City, there was only one 7th grade great sovereign, Yang Junlong. Judging from the battle formation alone, Quicksand City was obviously at a disadvantage. However, it could be seen that the overall strength of the barbarian world had surpassed the immortal world. The barbarian race had sent 3 7th grade barbarian sovereigns to kill a small city like Quicksand City. Other than showing the strength of the barbarian world, it also showed their determination to slaughter the immortal world. The higher-ups of the barbarian world were furious because of their defeat and losses in the immortal world. This time, they must fight a life-and-death battle with the sovereign domain. Therefore, they would not fight a battle that they had no confidence in winning. The purpose of this battle was to completely destroy the sovereign domain. As long as the sovereign domain was destroyed, the entire immortal world would belong to the barbarian race. Looking at the huge camp of the barbarian race, the people of Quicksand City were in despair. Even though they were fully prepared, the absolute gap in strength still made them feel a great sense of crisis. On the other side, Jiang Chen and the others had just arrived at the sovereign domain and immediately encountered the barbarian world's war. Everyone, it seems like the war of the sovereign domain has begun. Let's split up and help the cities that need it. Jiang Chen said. All right, everyone be careful. Mi Luo Sovereign Lord said and took the lead to fly towards a direction. There are a lot of cities in the sovereign domain that are engaged in fierce battles right now. It seems that the 9th grade barbarian sovereigns haven't taken any action yet. They should be restraining the 9th grade barbarian sovereigns. This is our battle. Monkey, De Huang, Yen, Tyrant, Anan, you guys go find your own battlefields. With your current strength, as long as it's not a 9th grade barbarian sovereign, there shouldn't be any danger to your lives. Jiang Chen said. The most powerful ones among them were Long San and De Huang Dog. Especially Long San, he had the strength to kill an 8th grade barbarian sovereign. It could be said that he was the main force in this battle. Tyrant was second to Tyrant. He had the God-suppressing monument in his hand, which gave him a great advantage. It wouldn't be a problem for him to fight against an 8th grade barbarian sovereigns. All right. Everyone responded and flew off in different directions, beginning to search for their own battlefields. As a matter of fact, the entire sovereign domain had turned into a battlefield.
Anyone could kill as they wished. The immortal world and the barbarian race were irreconcilable enemies. They would kill each other the moment they met. Soon, everyone left and stepped into the battlefield of the ultimate battle. Jiang Chen's gaze fell on the direction of Quicksand City. No matter how the situation of Quicksand City was, Jiang Chen had to go to Quicksand City to have a look. When Yang Junlong needed help, Jiang Chen must appear in time. Jiang Chen was a person who knew how to repay kindness. Yang Junlong had helped him many times and even helped him to save De Huang's life. Jiang Chen would never forget this kindness. Now that the calamity had arrived and Quicksand City was in danger, Jiang Chen naturally had to lend a helping hand. He couldn't guarantee that everyone in the immortal world would survive, but he must ensure the survival of those who were important to him. In Jiang Chen's heart, Yang Junlong was the most important person in his life. In the sky above Quicksand City, the leader of the Wulei family raised his black sword high and waved it in front of him. He then shouted, "Kill! Kill everyone here! Don't leave anyone alive! Kill! Kill! Kill!" The experts of the barbarian race roared. There weren't many of them, but each of them was a powerful barbarian sovereign. The deterrent force of them gathering together was unimaginable. Brothers of Quicksand City, listen up. Our final objective for coming to the Imperial region is for this day. The time to defend our territory and dignity has arrived. Let us use our blood and lives in this final battle. Even if we die, it will be a glorious death. Yang Junlong's imposing manner was monstrous. He was the first to rush towards the 7th-grade barbarian sovereign. Even though he was fighting against 3 of them, there wasn't a shred of fear on his face. Even if we die in glory. His words stirred the blood in everyone's heart. The eyes of the great sovereigns of Quicksand City turned red. They released their dazzling great sovereign law, wielded their powerful great sovereign weapons and rushed towards the barbarian race's army. Overestimating yourselves, the leader of the barbarian race sneered. He and the other 2 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns attacked at the same time, unleashing a terrifying chi wave attack towards Yang Junlong. Obviously, the barbarian race did not want to waste any more time. They wanted to kill Yang Junlong as soon as possible and end the battle as soon as possible. The losses that the barbarian race suffered in the immortal world had increased their hatred towards the immortal world. This was a real calamity, a real war. There was no such thing as losing face here. 3 against 1. The experts of the barbarian race did not feel that it was shameful at all. Their only goal was to kill their enemy. In order to achieve their goal, they would do anything. Hong. In the end, Yang Junlong was no match for the 3 of them. In addition to the fact that he had just advanced to the 7th-grade Great Sovereign Realm, his cultivation realm was not very stable. Under the powerful attack of the 3 experts, Yang Junlong was sent flying away, spurting out a mouthful of blood. Such an ending seemed to be within Yang Junlong's expectation. A feeling of despair emerged in his heart. Just when Yang Junlong was about to lose all hope, an extremely tyrannical chi wave began to roll from afar. Everyone saw a blood-red dragon man rushing towards them in an overbearing manner. He was holding a true dragon sword in his hand, looking extremely mighty. Jiang Chen. It's Jiang Chen. He has killed Wuka Tianxiang. Great! Jiang Chen is here. Our Quicksand City is saved. Countless great sovereigns of Quicksand City were excited. A smile appeared on Yang Junlong's face. He was very happy that Jiang Chen had appeared at such a crucial moment. Everyone had clearly witnessed the battle where Jiang Chen killed Wuka Tianxiang. Now that Jiang Chen had advanced to the 5th-grade Great Sovereign Realm, killing a 7th-grade Great Sovereign was as easy as flipping his hand, effortlessly. Damn it! Why is this killing god here? Seeing the sudden appearance of Jiang Chen, the leader of the barbarian race's expression changed drastically. Their initial advantage was completely changed because of Jiang Chen's sudden arrival. Chapter 2102. Quick, call Wuka Manjun here. The leader of the Wulei family quickly said. All right, I'll send a signal to Wuka Manjun. Wuka Manjun said that he will kill Jiang Chen with his own hands to avenge Wuka Tianxiang. The other 7th-grade barbarian sovereign took out a black talisman and crushed it on the spot, sending the message of Jiang Chen's whereabouts. Moreover, the 7th-grade barbarian sovereign knew that the situation was urgent. If Wuka Manjun didn't come soon, their lives would be in real danger. In their eyes, Jiang Chen was an unstoppable killing god. If he attacked with his full strength, they would probably die in the hands of Jiang Chen. Wuke Tianxiang was the #1 genius of the barbarian race, and also Wuke Manjuan's son. He had always been Wuke Manjuan's pride. No one had expected that Wuke Tianxiang would die in the hands of Jiang Chen. This was an irreconcilable hatred. Wuke Manjun swore that he would kill Jiang Chen with his own hands to avenge his son. Before the attack on the sovereign domain, Wuke Manjun had already sent out a lot of message talismans. If anyone saw Jiang Chen, they would immediately inform him through the talisman. Now that Jiang Chen had appeared in Quicksand City, the leader naturally had to inform Wuke Manjun immediately. Jiang Chen, Patriarch Wuke will be here soon. You've caused our barbarian race to suffer a great loss. Today will be the day of your death. The leader of the Wulei family shouted at Jiang Chen. It's hard to say if it's my death, but it's definitely your death. Without saying anything, Jiang Chen's sword turned into a dragon and slashed towards the leader. It was an unparalleled sword strike. It was too fast, and the moment the sword was unleashed, it locked on the opponent's aura, making it impossible for the opponent to dodge. Arg! The leader of the Wulei family let out a blood-curdling scream before he was slashed into half by Jiang Chen's sword. With Jiang Chen's 5th-grade great sovereign strength, plus his dragon transformation and his ability to restrain the barbarian race, killing a 7th-grade barbarian sovereign in an instant was too easy. Both parties were not on the same level. What? The other 2 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns turned pale with fright. They looked at Jiang Chen as if they were looking at a ghost. Such a person was too terrifying. They were sure that the current Jiang Chen was much stronger than when he fought against Wuke Tianxiang. With their strength as 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns, it was impossible for them to be his opponent. Motherfucker! How could this monster be so terrifying? A 7th-grade barbarian sovereign couldn't help but curse. Both of them were terrified. They originally thought that Wuke Manjun would arrive soon and that Jiang Chen would die for sure. Who would have thought that Wuke Manjun would act so decisively? If this continued, they would die before Wuke Manjun arrived. Voila! Jiang Chen did not give them any chance. After killing one of them, his long sword rippled once again, creating a terrifying sword net that enveloped the 2 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns. They did not even have the chance to escape. Ugh! Along with 2 blood-curdling screams, the 2 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns died under Jiang Chen's sword net. The Zulong Tower was torn apart and the 3 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns were completely devoured. Rumble. The 71st floor of the Zulong Tower began to shake and dragon marks started to form. However, the Zulong Tower seemed to be immune to the crazy energy absorption. Whether it was the condensation of the Zulong Tower or the recovery of Jiang Chen, all of them were extremely slow. Jiang Chen shook his head helplessly. The demand is getting bigger and bigger. Looks like I need to use the Zulong Tower to devour a few 8th-grade barbarian sovereigns in order to advance to the 6th-grade great sovereign realm. Kill. The tragic death of the 3 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns had brought incomparable morale to the people of Quicksand City. The situation of the battle had changed in an instant. Yang Junlong came to the side of Jiang Chen and looked at Jiang Chen with eyes full of pride and admiration. His foresight was indeed very sharp. He did not misjudge Jiang Chen. Apart from admiration, Yang Junlong also sighed in his heart. He still remembered that Jiang Chen was merely an immortal venerable when he first met him. It had only been a short period of time, but Jiang Chen had already advanced to the 5th-grade great sovereign realm, and was able to fight alone in the catastrophe. Yang Junlong was even more glad that he had a deep friendship with Jiang Chen. This friendship had saved his life today, and also saved the life of Quicksand City. Jiang Chen, I never thought that you would grow so fast. It's really shocking. I already know about your performance in the immortal world. The reason why the immortal world was able to achieve a complete victory this time and cause great damage to the barbarian race was all because of you. Yang Junlong said. Senior is overpraising me. Fighting against the barbarian race is what I should do. Jiang Chen smiled. But we must not be careless. The war in sovereign domain is about to begin. The barbarian race is not easy to deal with. Wuke Manjun won't let you go after you killed Wuke Tianxiang. I think it won't be long before Wuke Manjun arrives. Yang Junlong said. It's good that he's here. Killing Wuke Manjun will bring unimaginable impact to the Wuke family. Jiang Chen said with incomparable confidence. His words showed that he did not put Wuke Manjun in his eyes at all. As a matter of fact, Jiang Chen, a 5th-grade great sovereign, was no longer comparable to a fourth-grade great sovereign. He now had enough strength to fight against Wuka Manjun, or even kill him. Wuka Manjun's importance to the Wuka family was self-evident. If Jiang Chen killed Wuka Manjun, the impact on the Wuka family would be much greater than killing Wuka Tianxiang. Hoo-hoo! As soon as Yang Juanlong's voice faded, a black light came from afar, bringing along a wave of qi. In a blink of an eye, it had arrived above Quicksand City. The person who came was none other than Wuka Manjun. After Wuka Manjun appeared, he saw the scene of his side's defeat. The 3 7th-grade barbarian sovereigns had disappeared. He didn't even need to think to know that the 3 of them had died in the hands of Jiang Chen. Hong! Powerful anger rushed out from Wuka Manjun's body like a tidal wave. The sky shook along with it. Wuka Manjun's snake-like eyes fell on Jiang Chen. If looks could kill, Jiang Chen would have been dead by now. Jiang Chen, letting you escape last time was the biggest mistake I've made in my life. You killed my son. Today, I will avenge him and tear you into pieces. Wuka Manjun looked at Jiang Chen and said fiercely, Haha, Wuka Manjun. Since you love your son so much, you should go and accompany him. Jiang Chen laughed, completely ignoring Wuka Manjun's anger. Courting death. Chapter 2103. This was a punch from a peak 8th-grade barbarian sovereign. It was powerful enough to destroy a part of the sky. Boundless barbarian qi formed waves, almost sealing the entire extraterritorial battlefield. Jiang Chen was completely locked on by this attack. There was no way for him to dodge and he had to face it head-on. Of course, Jiang Chen had no intention of dodging. If he really wanted to, he could easily dodge Wuka Manjun's attack using the Great Void technique. In a battle of life and death like this, it was useless to hide. The Great Void technique could only be used during the battle. Jiang Chen had no intention of running away. Moreover, Wuka Manjun didn't have the ability to let him run away. Jiang Chen was now a 5th-grade barbarian sovereign. It wouldn't be a problem for him to kill Wuka Manjun if he used his full strength. Jiang Chen formed a seal with both of his hands. Then, an earth-shattering dragon roar was heard. A fire dragon, like a mad dragon that had descended to the world, swayed its huge body, bringing along a sea of fire, and collided with Wuka Manjun's fist. Rumble! The heavens and earth trembled. Terrifying waves of air spread out. Wuka Manjun's fist that could destroy a part of the sky was completely crushed by the impact of the fire dragon. Damn it! This fellow is getting stronger and stronger. Even I am feeling a trace of pressure when facing him. More importantly, the flames and aura that he exudes are very effective against me. I can only unleash half of my combat power. How infuriating! Wuka Manjun couldn't help but curse. It wasn't the first time he fought with Jiang Chen. Every time they met, Jiang Chen would bring him a big surprise. Every time, Jiang Chen would make great progress. Such a heaven-defying speed of growth made people speechless. However, Wuka Manjun could see Jiang Chen's true potential. Such a monstrous genius must not be left alive. If he was allowed to grow like this, it wouldn't take long before the 12 old ancestors of the barbarian race could no longer control Jiang Chen. Seeing that Jiang Chen was able to fight against Wuka Manjun and even had the upper hand, Yang Junlong was even more shocked. But at the same time, he was very pleased. Who was Wuka Manjun? He was the patriarch of the Wuka family, the most powerful 8th-grade barbarian sovereign in the barbarian race. In every era, there would be a person who could laugh proudly in the heavens and earth. In every era, there would be some names left behind. Whether it was King Immortal Slayer, Great Sovereign Zhong Xian, Golden Sovereign, or Void Sovereign, they were all famous figures. Their names could still be heard a million years later. As for Jiang Chen, he was destined to be such a person, unparalleled in the world, even surpassing the legendary level. Because even the powerful immortal Execution King couldn't fight against an 8th-grade Great Sovereign when he was still a 5th-grade Great Sovereign. The gap between them was huge. Heavenly Barbaric Mirror. Wuka Manjun didn't dare underestimate Jiang Chen anymore. He let out a loud shout, and a huge black mirror appeared above his head. It was a ferocious-looking black mirror, and it was surrounded by the portraits of devils and devils. The terrifying mirror emitted boundless pressure, causing people's souls to tremble. Jiang Chen, be careful. This is the Heavenly Barbaric Mirror. Don't get sucked into it. You won't be able to get out once you're sucked in. Yang Junlong quickly reminded Jiang Chen when he saw the heavenly barbaric mirror. Jiang Chen looked at the heavenly barbaric mirror without a trace of worry on his face. Instead, his entire body was filled with terrifying battle intent. He knew that Wuka Manjun had already shown his trump card. The power of the heavenly barbaric mirror must be extremely terrifying. Jiang Chen, it's your fortune to die under my heavenly barbaric mirror and become one of the 10,000 souls in my mirror. Wuka Manjun said loudly with extraordinary might. Then, the heavenly barbaric mirror suddenly enlarged and shrouded the entire extraterritorial battlefield. Jiang Chen looked extremely small under the heavenly barbaric mirror. Naturally, he was also shrouded in it. Bas! Countless rays of black light shot out from the heavenly barbaric mirror. Each ray of light was like a terrifying sharp sword. The heavenly barbaric mirror was like the divine sun extinguishing chakram that he used to fight against Wuka Tianxiang. It sealed everything. The area shrouded by the mirror was a completely different world. In this world, the heavenly barbaric mirror was the absolute ruler. Wuka Manjun channeled all his energy into the heavenly barbaric mirror. An extremely powerful suction force was released from the mirror, intending to suck Jiang Chen in. Roar, roar. A bone-chilling roar was heard from the heavenly barbaric mirror. Ferocious creatures with all kinds of weapons rushed out from the mirror, rushing towards Jiang Chen without a care for their lives. Jiang Chen, it's said that Wuka Manjun has cultivated an evil secret technique. He uses the heavenly barbaric mirror to absorb people's divine souls and refine them, turning them into an undead that only knows how to kill. If I'm not mistaken, he has already collected 99,999 divine souls in the heavenly barbaric mirror. You have 10,000 divine souls. Your divine soul is extremely powerful. Wuka Manjun wants to refine you as the last important divine soul. Once he successfully refines 100,000 divine souls, his cultivation will reach the 9th grade barbarian sovereign realm. Yang Junlong said. Is that so? Then I'll destroy these undead. The gold feather fan appeared in Jiang Chen's hand. He fanned the densely packed undead that were rushing towards him. A crashing sound was heard. At least 1,000 undead were killed by the gold feather fan. However, more and more undead rushed out from the heavenly barbaric mirror. The strength of these undead could not pose any threat to Jiang Chen. However, this kind of scene could easily affect a person's mind. Moreover, these undead seemed to be endless, causing a great impact on a person's mind. Haha. Jiang Chen, it's useless. After I refine these undead, they won't die as long as they're within the heavenly barbaric mirror's range of control. After you kill them, they'll revive in the heavenly barbaric mirror. You can kill my 100,000 undead as you please. Sooner or later, you'll be exhausted. Wuka Manjun laughed loudly. If that's the case, I'll break your heavenly barbaric mirror. Jiang Chen's aura fluctuated. He turned into a real dragon and rushed towards the heavenly barbaric mirror. In a blink of an eye, he entered the mirror. What? Yang Junlong and Wuka Manjun cried out in surprise. One was worried while the other was excited. Aya! How could he be so reckless? Yang Junlong slapped his thigh in anger. He thought to himself that Jiang Chen was too reckless. He had no idea how terrifying the heavenly barbaric mirror was. When others were controlled by the heavenly barbaric mirror, they would be most afraid of being sucked in. But now, Jiang Chen had entered it on his own accord. Ha! Jiang Chen, you're too arrogant. How dare you enter my heavenly barbaric mirror? You're asking for death. Since you want to die, I'll definitely fulfill your wish. Chapter 2104. The inside of the heavenly barbaric mirror was a completely different world. It was like an apocalyptic hell. It was extremely dark and there were terrifying evil spirits everywhere. They were roaring and howling, attacking Jiang Chen madly. Jiang Chen, once you enter the heavenly barbaric mirror, it will be the time of your death. All the evil spirits here are immortal. I will now control them to attack you. Moreover, there's a 10-fold time law in there. You can fight for 10 hours in there, but only 1 hour has passed outside. The strongest evil spirits here are 8th grade great sovereigns. Enjoy it to your heart's content. When your combat strength is no longer enough, it will be the time of your death. Wuka Manjuan's voice resounded in the heavenly barbaric mirror. Then, the terrifying evil spirit army began to attack Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword in his left hand and the gold feather fan in his right hand. He swept through everything in his way. Even the evil spirits of 7th and 8th grade great sovereigns were killed by him in a single strike. The combat weapon and flames in his hand were the nemesis of these evil spirits. Wu Kemanjun was dreaming if he wanted to trap Jiang Chen to death with these evil spirits. Voila! Hundreds and thousands of evil spirits died in Jiang Chen's hands. However, these evil spirits would reappear not long after they died. This made Jiang Chen very distressed. Just like what Wu Kemanjun had said, these evil spirits wouldn't die even if he killed them for 100 years. However, his combat strength was indeed depleting. Even if his combat strength could be endless, it was not a good idea to continue depleting his combat strength like this. Humph! These evil spirits must have something to rely on to be able to resurrect continuously. After I killed them, I didn't feel any energy coming from them. I can't even use the Zulong Tower to absorb it. Now, I need to find out what these evil spirits rely on to resurrect themselves. As long as I destroy their resurrection mechanism, I can kill these evil spirits directly. With my current strength, my cultivation base will reach the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm and the Zulong Tower will be condensed to the 72nd floor. Wu Kemanjun, you're really giving me a great fortune. Jiang Chen snorted coldly at first, but then a look of excitement appeared on his face. The Zulong Tower could absorb anything. Although the energy contained in these evil spirits wasn't very strong, there were too many of them. There were hundreds of thousands of evil spirits, including 8th and 7th grade Great Sovereigns. Jiang Chen was confident that he could break through to the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm after absorbing all of these evil spirits. Once he reached the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm, killing Wu Kemanjun would be a piece of cake. Following that, Jiang Chen's attention was no longer on killing these evil spirits. He knew that even if he gave it his all, it would be useless. He would not be able to stop these evil spirits from reviving. Jiang Chen casted the Great Void technique to evade the attacks of these evil spirits. Then, he casted the Great Soul Derivation technique and Great Divination art. It didn't take him much effort to find the clues. At the center of the heavenly barbaric mirror, there was an invisible altar. The altar was illusory and could not be seen by the naked eye. However, it could not escape from the calculation of Jiang Chen's Great Divination art. Jiang Chen killed a few evil spirits and found out that the next place these evil spirits appeared was the location of the invisible altar. So it's here. I'll destroy your altar. Let's see how you can revive. Jiang Chen's body swayed and came to the front of the altar. He struck the heavenly dragon sword and the altar immediately collapsed with a loud bang. What? Wu Kemanjun cried out in surprise. Obviously, he did not expect Jiang Chen to find the location of the altar under the attack of hundreds of thousands of evil spirits. Moreover, he did it in such a short time. Now that the altar was destroyed, the evil spirits lost their source of recovery and became a single existence. Haha, Wu Kemanjun, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Jiang Chen laughed out loud. He waved the gold feather fan and killed a large number of evil spirits. This time, the energy that was emitted from the evil spirits was completely absorbed by the Zulong Tower before it could dissipate. Voila voila! Jiang Chen was extremely ferocious. The gold feather fan and the heavenly saint's sword were the nemesis of these evil spirits. In just a few minutes, 20,000 evil spirits were killed by Jiang Chen. Motherfucker, how did this brat find my altar? Wu Kemanjun's eyes were about to bleed. He began to look worried. Because what made him depressed was that not only could Jiang Chen kill a large number of evil spirits, he could also absorb them. Wu Kemanjun could feel that Jiang Chen's strength was getting stronger and stronger, breaking through to the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm. He knew that if Jiang Chen relied on these evil spirits to break through to the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm, the only thing that awaited him would be death. Jiang Chen did not care about Wu Kemanjun's shock. He only cared about his own massacre. At this moment, not to mention Wu Kemanjun wanting to absorb him into the heavenly barbaric mirror, even if Wu Kemanjun wanted to throw Jiang Chen out, Jiang Chen would not come out. This was a great opportunity. Voila! The gold feather fan was like a killing machine, constantly killing the evil spirits. Soon, more than half of the 100,000 evil spirits were killed by Jiang Chen. At this moment, Wu Kemanjun could no longer sit still. He wanted to force Jiang Chen out of the heavenly barbaric mirror, but he found that it was useless. Jiang Chen die. Wuka Manjun shouted, and a black battle blade appeared on his finger. His huge body appeared in the heavenly barbaric mirror, unleashing the aura of an 8th grade barbarian sovereign, madly rushing towards Jiang Chen. Unfortunately, Jiang Chen did not care about him at all. He only relied on the Great Void technique to dodge, while the gold feather fan and heavenly dragon sword in his hands continued to kill those evil spirits. This situation made Wuka Manjun scream in anger. He had spent a lot of effort to refine these evil spirits. Every time he lost one of them, his heart would bleed. However, he had no other choice. Losing the sacrificial altar was equivalent to losing the method to control these evil spirits. It was already good enough that these evil spirits did not attack him. Oh! The evil spirits roared and rushed towards Jiang Chen as if they were going to die. However, they could only be slaughtered without the slightest bit of resistance. Very soon, the 100,000 evil spirits were all killed by Jiang Chen. At this moment, the rumbling sound in the Zulong Tower was unceasing. The 72nd floor was completely condensed. The number of dragon marks in Jiang Chen's body had reached 1.95 million, completely advancing to the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm. Roar! A frenzied dragon roared. Jiang Chen transformed into his dragon form and unleashed his cultivation realm. The strength of a 6th grade Great Sovereign could be described as destroying the heavens and earth. Wuka Manjuan's eyes were filled with deep fear. Chapter 2105. 1,950,000 Dragon Marks. A 6th grade Great Sovereign. Jiang Chen's cultivation base could no longer be described with just the word terrifying. The violent impact was wreaking havoc in the heavenly barbaric mirror. The entire space inside the mirror began to emit cracking sounds, as if it was going to collapse at any time. Wuka Manjuan's expression changed drastically. His chi was connected with the heavenly barbaric mirror, and he was currently inside the mirror. If the heavenly barbaric mirror was destroyed by Jiang Chen, the consequences would be unimaginable. He would suffer unimaginable damage and loss. However, Jiang Chen, who had already advanced to the 6th grade Great Sovereign, was not someone Wuka Manjun could deal with. The gap between their levels had been widened. Even with the help of the heavenly barbaric mirror, Wuka Manjun could not cause any damage to Jiang Chen. Wuka Manjun, your doomsday is here. Jiang Chen went berserk. The heavenly dragon sword in his hand roared and a terrifying sword chi spread out. With a loud bang, a big hole was cut on the heavenly barbaric mirror. Outside Quicksand City, Yang Juanlong's face was filled with worry. Suddenly, the heavenly barbaric mirror shattered and a dazzling sword light rushed out from it. Boom! Then, the heavenly barbaric mirror shattered into countless pieces. Two figures jumped out from it. One of them was a dazzling dragon man, holding a battle sword with unparalleled chi. The other one was Wuka Manjun. He looked extremely miserable, his body was covered with blood and his chi was weak. He did not look like an 8th grade barbarian sovereign at all. Oh my god! How did he do that? Yang Juanlong's mouth was wide open. He could not believe his own eyes. Looking at the 6th grade Great Sovereign Jiang Chen, Yang Juanlong really doubted how he did that. That was the heavenly barbaric mirror. But Jiang Chen broke it so easily. The destruction of the heavenly barbaric mirror meant that Wuka Manjun was done for. Not to mention that Wuka Manjun was seriously injured and his strength had declined. He would not be a match for Jiang Chen even if he was at his peak. Jiang Chen, a 6th grade Great Sovereign, was not someone that Wuka Manjun could fight against. Both of them were not on the same level. Swoosh! Jiang Chen moved instantly and caught up to Wuka Manjun in a blink of an eye. The heavenly dragon's sword in his hand slashed mercilessly. Following a blood-curdling scream, Wuka Manjun was cleaved into two halves on the spot and died under Jiang Chen's sword. Whoosh whoosh! A crack appeared on the Zulong Tower, completely refining Wuka Manjun. At this moment, the patriarch of the Wuka family had fallen. The battle of the sovereign region had just begun. The death of Wuka Manjun was undoubtedly a great loss to the barbarians, and it was an unimaginable blow to the morale of the barbarians. Not good. However, after absorbing Wuka Manjun, Jiang Chen furrowed his brows. He was shocked to find that the door of Zulong Tower was closed. Ever since the war with the barbarian world began, the Zulong Tower has been devouring energy crazily. Now that it has closed itself, I don't want to use the Zulong Tower to advance like this anymore. Looks like I have to rely on other methods to advance to the 7th grade Great Sovereign. Jiang Chen thought. He had been relying on the Zulong Tower for a long time to advance. This method of plundering energy seemed to have gone against the original intention and essence of the dragon transformation skill. Therefore, the Zulong Tower had chosen to close itself at the critical moment of advancing to the 7th grade Great Sovereign. Now, Jiang Chen would need other fortuitous encounters to advance to the 7th grade Great Sovereign Realm. With Jiang Chen's current cultivation base of the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm, killing an 8th grade Barbarian Sovereign was too easy.
However, it was still a little difficult for him to deal with a 9th grade Barbarian Sovereign. Although it was normal for Jiang Chen to kill an enemy that was 3 levels higher than him. However, a 9th grade Great Sovereign was different. It was a threshold that was extremely difficult to cross. Even for Jiang Chen, he could only kill a 9th grade Great Sovereign after advancing to the 7th grade Great Sovereign Realm. He was only able to fight against a 9th grade Barbarian Sovereign as he was now a 6th grade Great Sovereign.
Jiang Chen, you've killed Wuka Manjun. You're too powerful. Looks like your brilliance is unstoppable now. Yang Junlong praised. Senior, Wuka Manjun is dead. I'm going to kill the other patriarchs of the barbarian race. Once these patriarchs are killed, the 12 old ancestors of the barbarian race will take action. Soon, the ultimate battle will begin. Jiang Chen said. All right, go ahead and kill. You don't need to worry about this. Yang Junlong said in a heroic manner. At the same time when Jiang Chen killed Wuka Manjun, Long Shan had also killed an 8th grade barbarian sovereign of the barbarian race in a violent manner. This guy's Battle Saint Ape bloodline was getting more and more terrifying. Although it was difficult for him to kill someone like Wuka Manjun with his current strength, killing an ordinary 8th grade barbarian sovereign was not a problem for him. With the addition of Long Shan, De Huang Dog and Tyrant, the cities of the sovereign domain did not fall into a disadvantageous position. The news that Wuka Manjun was killed by Jiang Chen spread across the entire sovereign domain very quickly. To the people of the immortal world, this news was undoubtedly a great blow to the morale of the barbarian race. For a long time, the morale of the barbarian race had suffered a great blow. Whether it was from the immortal world or the sovereign domain, it was all because of Jiang Chen. This made the barbarian race hate Jiang Chen's name to the bone. In the following day of battle, the barbarian race kept suffering bad news. Because Jiang Chen appeared in different battlefields, and every one of the battlefields he appeared in was against the patriarchs of the barbarian race. The patriarch of the Wulon family was killed by Jiang Chen. The patriarch of the Wuqi family was killed by Jiang Chen. The patriarch of the Wulei family was killed by Jiang Chen. The patriarch of the Wuhong family was killed by Jiang Chen. In just a day, all 12 patriarchs were killed by Jiang Chen. The barbarian race was in complete chaos. This blow was too great. The 12 patriarchs were the most famous figures in the barbarian race. But now, all of them were killed. They were invincible existences below the 9th grade Great Sovereign Realm.
But they did not die in the hands of a 9th grade Great Sovereign, but in the hands of a 6th grade Great Sovereign.
This made the barbarian race, who had been recuperating for tens of thousands of years, have the urge to spurt out blood. The barbarian race was defeated, unable to extricate themselves. But the strong pressure still lingered in the sky of the sovereign domain. Everyone had a premonition that after the 12 patriarchs were killed, the 12 old ancestors of the barbarian race would take action for real. Rumble! A crack appeared in the sky, and 12 figures emerged from it. The moment the 12 figures appeared, 9 powerful figures also rushed out from the sovereign domain. The 8 great rulers, plus the golden old ancestor, a total of 9 9th grade great sovereigns. After both sides appeared, they did not say anything unnecessary, and immediately drew out a battlefield in the sky. This was the Battle of the Pinnacle, and also the final battle of the catastrophe. This battle would directly decide the fate of the immortal world and the barbarian world. Chapter 2106. The extraterritorial battlefield was shaking, but the sovereign domain suddenly became quiet. Everyone from the immortal world and barbarian world stopped what they were doing and looked up at the sky. That was the battlefield of the ultimate battle. Everyone knew that the battle in the extraterritorial battlefield was the final battle that would directly affect the outcome of the war. Although they had won all the previous battles and dealt an unimaginably heavy blow to the barbarian race, the people of the immortal world were still filled with endless worry in the face of the ultimate battle. Because there was a certain gap in the number of 9th grade great sovereigns on both sides. It was not an easy task to win against 12 9th grade great sovereigns. But now, the 8 great sovereigns and the golden old ancestor had no choice but to risk their lives to defend the position of the immortal world. They could not allow this beautiful world to disappear or fall into the hands of the barbarian race, turning it into an Azura hell. Rumble. Terrifying battle waves were constantly coming from the extraterritorial battlefield. Only Long Shersan's fiery golden eyes could see through everything.
From the expression on Long Shersan's face, it was not difficult to see that the immortal world was in a disadvantageous position.
Kill! Someone in the crowd shouted. The armies of the immortal world and barbarian world that had temporarily stopped fighting started fighting again. The sky was dark and the earth was dark. It was hard to tell who would win. Jiang Chen did not continue to fight. The battle here was meaningless to him. He felt a little depressed. He wanted to go to the extraterritorial battlefield to participate in the ultimate battle. Unfortunately, because of the closure of the Zulong Tower, he could only temporarily stop his cultivation at the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm.
With his cultivation at the 6th grade Great Sovereign Realm, even if he went to the extraterritorial battlefield, he would not be able to change the outcome. But now that the ultimate battle had begun, it was extremely difficult to break through to the 7th grade Great Sovereign Realm at this time, unless there was an accident or a miracle.
Monkey, can you see what's going on? Asked Han Yen. The 12 old ancestors of the barbarian world are too powerful. Some of them survived the previous catastrophe. Sovereign Ling Tian is injured. Long Shersan said, his tone filled with worry. The entire extraterritorial battlefield was completely sealed. Even the mighty great emperors couldn't see the real situation inside. Only Long Shersan's fiery golden eyes could see through everything. Damn it, the barbarians have the advantage in numbers. It's not easy to turn the tables. De Huang Dog couldn't help but curse. Rumble. At that moment, at one end of the sky, at the border of the desolate ancient land, a huge crack suddenly appeared. The crack quickly spread, like a long river across the sky. Countless gazes fell upon the giant crack that suddenly appeared. The appearance of this crack was extremely strange. It was definitely not caused by the battle between 9th grade great sovereigns, but a natural phenomenon. However, after this crack appeared, it gave off an oppressive feeling. It was a feeling that the heavenly Tao was missing, and the entire world seemed to be missing something. Look, what's that? What a huge crack. Could it be that the ancient rumor is true? The heavenly Tao law of the immortal world is already incomplete, and a part of it has disappeared. That's why the barbarian world was able to enter the immortal world. Yeah, I've also heard of that rumor. Could that giant crack be the incomplete heavenly Tao? Everyone was shocked.
Some of the great sovereigns who had lived for a long time were even more shocked.
They had all heard of the rumor and couldn't help but think about it. De Huang, what's going on? Long Shersan looked at De Huang Dog. Every world has its own heavenly Tao law. There are countless worlds and countless heavenly Tao laws. Different levels of the world will result in different heavenly Tao laws. There are many planes with different levels. There are countless planes like the immortal world that we're in. A long time ago, before the last catastrophe, great sovereigns weren't the main focus. It was said that every great sovereign who had reached the peak of cultivation would have the opportunity to enter a higher plane to cultivate, and enter the legendary divine world. However, there was also a rumor that the heavenly Tao law of the immortal world was incomplete for some unknown reason, causing the heavenly Tao to be incomplete, blocking the path of 9th grade great sovereigns to the divine world. It was also because of the incomplete heavenly Tao that the last catastrophe happened. De Huang Dog said, this time, the 9th grade great sovereigns had once again engaged in an ultimate battle. The connection point between the two worlds was agitated, and the incomplete heavenly Tao law was revealed. Unfortunately, the heavenly Tao law couldn't be completed, otherwise, the immortal world would become extremely powerful. The barbarian world wouldn't be a threat to us at all. De Huang Dog was the reincarnation of Great Sovereign Dragon Sunday. There was no secret of the immortal world that he didn't know. After listening to De Huang Dog's words, everyone couldn't help but sigh. It turned out that the immortal Tao wasn't the end. There was still the powerful divine Tao behind it. If the incomplete law could be completed, then the heavenly Tao would be complete, and many great sovereigns would have the opportunity to enter the divine world. Unfortunately, it had been tens of thousands of years. It was extremely difficult to complete the heavenly Tao. While everyone was sighing, Jiang Chen's expression suddenly became extremely strange. Because the moment the huge crack appeared in the sky, the immortal mark that had been lying dormant in his body suddenly became agitated.
The incomplete law of the heavenly Tao, the immortal mark. Oh my God!
Jiang Chen's eyes widened because he had guessed it correctly. This was too shocking. Without hesitation, Jiang Chen waved his hand and the immortal mark flew out.
As soon as the immortal mark appeared, it flew toward the crack in the sky as if it was summoned by something.
The immortal mark grew bigger and bigger until it turned into a long river. Whether it was the shape or the size, it matched the crack perfectly. Look, that's the law of the heavenly Tao that has disappeared. It was hidden in Jiang Chen's hand all along. Oh my God, the law of the heavenly Tao that has disappeared for tens of thousands of years has appeared again. It has been hidden in Jiang Chen's hand all along. No wonder Jiang Chen is so powerful. He has the protection of the law of the heavenly Tao. It turns out that the immortal mark in little Chenzi's body is the law of the heavenly Tao that has disappeared. This is great. If the law of the heavenly Tao is completed, it will cut off the connection with the barbarian world. At that time, no one in the barbarian world, including the 12 old ancestors, will be able to leave. It's not necessarily a good thing. If they can't leave, they will definitely kill and occupy the pure land of the immortal world. Now, let's see if we can get any benefits after the heavenly Tao is completed. Chapter 2107. Countless eyes were looking forward to it. Finally, the immortal mark and the huge crack merged into one. The crack disappeared completely. The heavenly Tao was complete. Boundless golden immortal light began to fall from the sky. Roar, I can't feel the barbarian world's chi anymore. The law of the immortal world is complete. We can't leave. Motherfucker, we can't leave. The world barrier is completely sealed. We can only kill. The people of the barbarian race's expression changed. Because the heavenly Tao law was completed, the world law of the immortal world became complete. The barbarian race that appeared in the immortal world did not have the ability to break the complete world barrier. Therefore, the people of the barbarian race couldn't leave anymore. However, this situation had stimulated their ferocious nature, causing them to become even crazier. Since there was no way out, the only thing they could do was to kill and plunder.
In the extraterritorial battlefield, the great sovereign of the human race and the barbarian sovereign of the barbarian race also noticed this.
Haha, the heavenly Tao that disappeared has finally been completed. I have already divined that Jiang Chen is the biggest turning point of this catastrophe. It's true. Legend has it that after the heavenly Tao law is completed, countless immortal light essence will appear and shine upon the earth, bringing unimaginable benefits to countless cultivators in the immortal world. Sovereign Taishu laughed loudly.
No matter what, the completion of the heavenly Tao law was a good thing for the immortal world.
Old Ancestor Wuka, we can't leave.
Old Ancestor Wulon was shocked.
We won't leave if we can't. We have no intention of leaving. Let's kill these 9th grade great sovereigns and conquer the immortal world. Old Ancestor Wuka held a black walking stick in his hand and his killing intent soared to the sky. That's right. We have no intention of leaving. The black wheel above Old Ancestor Wulei's head killed in all directions. Kill! Someone shouted. The 12 old ancestors became more ferocious and ferocious than before. They began to attack the 9th grade great sovereigns of the human race.
Under such crazy attacks, the 9th grade great sovereigns of the human race were injured very quickly.
Voila! At the moment when the heavenly Tao law was completed, a scorching sun appeared in the sky. The scorching sun emitted boundless rays of light. Every ray of light was like a real substance, like silk, falling onto every corner of the immortal world. All the dark clouds in the sky were blown away, and the black chi waves disappeared. No matter how powerful the brute devil chi was, it could not cover the light of the heavenly Tao. Boundless light of the heavenly Tao cascaded down onto the people of the immortal world. At this moment, everyone was baptized by the light of the heavenly Tao. Ah! My cultivation has advanced. Oh my God, I've advanced to the 5th grade Great Sovereign Realm from the 4th grade Great Sovereign Realm. What a formidable light of the heavenly Tao. I've leveled up as well. At this moment, not only in Sovereign Domain, but in every corner of the immortal world, everyone was baptized by the light of heavenly Tao.
It was as if they were being bathed by the sun.
Every expert below the 8th grade Great Sovereign Realm had advanced by 1 level. Those with outstanding talent had advanced by 2 or 3 levels. This was the glory of the heavenly Tao, and everyone in the immortal world would benefit from it. In this way, the overall strength of the immortal world had increased tremendously, and the barbarian race was no longer a threat to the immortal world. The only regret was that the ninth-grade great sovereigns did not receive the baptism of the light of heavenly Tao.
Perhaps they were already standing at the peak of the heavens and earth, and the light of heavenly Tao would not be of much help to them.
Similarly, those 8th-grade great sovereigns did not advance to the 9th-grade great sovereign realm after receiving the baptism. Everyone's potential, talent, and luck were limited. Not everyone could advance greatly under the light of heavenly Tao. Roar! A deafening roar resounded. De Huang Dog had completely transformed under the baptism of the light of heavenly Tao, turning into an incomparably mystical dragon horse. His cultivation realm had advanced to the 7th-grade great sovereign realm in a blink of an eye, then skyrocketed all the way to the 8th-grade great sovereign realm. On the other side, Long Shan was the same. The Battle Saint Ape's bloodline had been completely stimulated, directly advancing 2 levels to the 8th-grade great sovereign realm. Jiang Chen had transformed into a true dragon. Under the baptism of the light of heavenly Tao, the qi in his body surged, and the number of dragon marks increased. Very quickly, it had reached 2 million dragon marks, and his cultivation realm had advanced to the 7th-grade great sovereign realm. This situation made Jiang Chen extremely excited. He did not know how to advance to the 7th-grade great sovereign realm, but after receiving the baptism of the light of heavenly Tao, he was afraid that there was no better way to advance in the heavens and earth than this. Han Yen, 7th-grade great sovereign. Tyrant, 7th-grade great sovereign. Nangong Wentian, 7th-grade great sovereign. Everyone had received great benefits, and the ones who had the greatest increase in their combat strength were, of course, Jiang Chen, Long Shan, and De Huang. Little Chenzi, the 12 old ancestors in the extraterritorial battlefield have gone crazy. Now, other than the golden old ancestor, the other 8 great rulers have suffered serious injuries. We have to take action now. Long Shan said loudly. His fiery golden eyes were shining brightly. All right, let's go and kill them all. The 12 old ancestors won't be able to leave this place alive. Jiang Chen's aura fluctuated, then he rushed towards the extraterritorial battlefield with Long Shan and De Huang Dog. Seeing the 3 of them entering the extraterritorial battlefield, everyone in the immortal world heaved a sigh of relief. The 3 of them were extremely ferocious. Jiang Chen alone could turn the situation around and change everything. The 8th-grade demon sovereign Long Shan and De Huang Dog were also extremely ferocious. Killing a 9th-grade barbarian sovereign wasn't a problem at all. Needless to say, Jiang Chen had become the nemesis of the 12 old ancestors after he had advanced to the 7th-grade great sovereign realm. Once the 3 brothers entered the extraterritorial battlefield, it would be the doomsday of the 12 old ancestors. At this moment, in the extraterritorial battlefield, the 8 great sovereigns had suffered some injuries. One of Sovereign Ling Tian's arms was chopped off, but he was still fighting crazily. Only Golden Old Ancestor was able to hold on due to his golden bloodline's ability to restrain the barbarian race, but he had also suffered some injuries. Such a scene made all the great sovereigns feel despair. After knowing that the heavenly Tao law had been completed, the 12 old ancestors became extremely crazy and wanted to conquer the immortal world. Their attacks were extremely ruthless. At this moment, a huge hole was torn open in the extraterritorial battlefield. 3 tyrannical figures flew into the battlefield from the outside. It's Jiang Chen. He has advanced to the 7th-grade great sovereign realm. Sovereign Taishu exclaimed. His eyes that were filled with despair were instantly filled with boundless radiance. In his estimation, Jiang Chen was the most important part of this catastrophe. Old Ancestor Wuka, how have you been? Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword and stood in front of Old Ancestor Wuka. Damned brat, I didn't manage to kill you last time and caused such a huge loss to my barbarian race. Today, I will definitely destroy you. Old Ancestor Wuka gritted his teeth when he saw Jiang Chen. Chapter 2108. It was this guy in front of him who took away his barbarian god bloodline and ruined all his hopes. Not being able to kill Jiang Chen in the Wuka family had always been the most depressing thing in Ancestor Wuka's heart. Later on, the war in the immortal world started because of Jiang Chen. Countless experts of the barbarian race died in his hands. Now, even the 12 patriarchs of the barbarian race were killed by Jiang Chen. This was an irreconcilable hatred. To put it bluntly, Jiang Chen was the biggest enemy of the barbarian race for tens of thousands of years. Ancestor Wuka, you no longer have the chance. As soon as Jiang Chen finished speaking, he slashed the heavenly dragon sword. Countless sword lights formed into a sword net that shrouded the heavens and earth, trapping Ancestor Wuka within it. How is this possible? Ancestor Wuka's facial expression changed drastically. He was shocked to find out that his movement had become sluggish under the cover of Jiang Chen's sword net. Being sluggish in such a pinnacle battle would be fatal. Arg! As expected, Jiang Chen slashed Ancestor Wuka into half, killing him on the spot. What a pity! Jiang Chen shook his head and sighed in his heart. The Zulong Tower was still in a closed state. Otherwise, he wouldn't have missed such a great figure like Ancestor Wuka. However, Jiang Chen had absorbed the light of heavenly Tao. Not only had his cultivation base advanced to the 7th grade Great Sovereign Realm, the Zulong Tower had also reached the 74th floor. It was enough to deal with this catastrophe. What? Everyone exclaimed when they saw Ancestor Wuka being killed by Jiang Chen. The remaining 11 old ancestors of the barbarian race and the 8 great rulers of the human race were shocked. They couldn't believe what they just saw. They knew how strong Ancestor Wuka was. However, such a terrifying existence couldn't even withstand a single strike from Jiang Chen. He was killed in a single strike. If they didn't see it with their own eyes, they wouldn't believe it even if they were beaten to death. That's the son of the heavenly Tao, a true peerless genius. His accomplishments are destined to surpass everything. Our immortal world is safe. Emperor Taishu sighed. The 8 sovereigns and the golden forefather looked at Jiang Chen with eyes full of admiration. Exterminate! While everyone was still in a daze, Long Shan transformed into a violent ape and used the iron cudgel in his hand to execute the exterminating symbol art. With a loud bang, the cudgel smashed down on Patriarch Wu Lan's head. The powerful Patriarch Wu Lan's head was smashed on the spot, and he died a violent death. Everyone was shocked once again. There were so many heaven-defying existences appearing at the last moment of the immortal world. Jiang Chen alone was terrifying enough. Now, there was a monkey that came out of nowhere. He was only an 8th grade demon sovereign, but he could kill a 9th grade barbarian sovereign as easily as killing a chicken. As soon as the battle ended, another blood-curdling scream was heard from the other side. De Huang Dog transformed into a dragon horse and killed a 9th grade barbarian sovereign with an incomparably ferocious manner. At this point, the barbarian race had already lost 3 old ancestors at the beginning of the battle. The remaining 9 old ancestors had a drastic change in their expressions. They were no longer as arrogant and despotic as before. Each of them looked at the 3 uninvited guests as if they were looking at ghosts. Ha ha! Seeing this, the golden old ancestor suddenly laughed out loud. The other 8 rulers also laughed heartily. All of their tensed emotions were instantly relaxed, and they even removed their defense. They could already tell that they don't even need to do anything in the upcoming battle. These 3 ferocious fellows were enough to give the remaining 9 old ancestors a hard time. Haha, little Chunzi, De Huang. Each of you 3. Let's see who's faster. Long Shan laughed loudly and said to Jiang Chen and De Huang Dog. Kaka, all right. De Huang Dog's body flashed and pounced towards one of the old ancestors. Hearing that the other party had decided their fate with just a few words and treated them like ants, the remaining 9 old ancestors had the urge to spit out blood. As an old ancestor of the barbarian race, they had never been looked down upon like this before. It was simply intolerable. But they had no other choice. The other party was too strong, so strong that they couldn't fight against him. Swoosh! Jiang Chen did not say anything. The heavenly dragon's sword rippled with boundless sword light and killed another old ancestor in a blink of an eye. At the same time, Long Shan and De Huang Dog did not want to be outdone and killed another 2 old ancestors. It was an extremely horrifying scene. The 9th grade barbarian sovereigns were killed like ants. If such a scene were to be spread out, no one knew how shocked the world would be. Anyway, the 8 great rulers and the golden old ancestors had their eyes and mouths wide open. They found it hard to breathe. The 12 old ancestors were really unlucky. They had been planning for tens of thousands of years. But when the catastrophe arrived, they encountered 3 super abnormal beings. Just 3 of them were enough to change the fate of the entire immortal world. While the 8 great rulers were still in a daze, another 3 miserable screams were heard. 3 more old ancestors had fallen. Now that the world barrier was complete and the heavenly Tao law had been repaired, these old ancestors did not even have the chance to run away. It had only been a few minutes since Jiang Chen and the others entered the extraterritorial battlefield. 9 of the 12 old ancestors had been killed. The remaining 3 looked at their opponents in fear. Their eyes were filled with despair. They had even lost their desire to fight. They knew that what awaited them today was death. Kill! Jiang Chen and Long Shan shouted at the same time and rushed towards their last opponent. Ah! Everything came to an end along with the last miserable scream. The 12 old ancestors of the barbarian race had all died. The remaining barbarians had become the remnants of the immortal world. There was only one ending for them: complete annihilation. From now on, the barbarian race would no longer exist in this world. The extraterritorial battlefield disappeared. The battle in the sovereign domain lasted for another 2 hours. Blood flowed like a river and corpses piled up like a mountain. The barbarian race had been slaughtered. Countless people of the immortal world looked at the 3 figures that were standing in the sky. In their hearts, these 3 figures were incomparably tall. They were the heroes of the immortal world, directly annihilating the barbarian race. Their achievements should have surpassed Immortal Execution King and Great Sovereign Zhang Xian. Yeah. Especially Jiang Chen. He's a peerless monstrous genius. He's too powerful. If it wasn't for him, the immortal world would have been in a real crisis. I don't know how we're going to survive this catastrophe. This is a monument that's destined to be passed down through the ages. Countless people worshipped and respected them. It was a kind of limitless glory. Whoosh! At this moment, an incomparably bright light appeared in the sky. This light seemed to have come from the extraterritorial battlefield. It was full of sacred color. The moment this light appeared, everyone's heart trembled. That light seemed to be a supreme existence that surpassed the laws of the immortal world. Chapter 2109. At this moment, the sovereign domain was strangely quiet. Everyone, including Jiang Chen and Long Shan, were looking at the old man who suddenly appeared. The old man seemed to be in his 50s. He was neither fat nor skinny, neither tall nor short. His appearance was also extremely ordinary. He had a kind face, giving people a very approachable feeling. However, the old man's strength was too strong. Even Jiang Chen, with his cultivation base, could feel a trace of pressure that he couldn't conceal.
The aura that the old man exuded was definitely an existence that surpassed the law of immortal Tao.
This is a true god, an existence that has surpassed the immortal Tao, De Huang Dog said with incomparable astonishment. His voice wasn't loud, but the old man heard it clearly. The old man looked at De Huang Dog and said, "You're right. I am the messenger of the divine world." Messenger of the divine world? The old man revealed his identity. Everyone was shocked. Divine world. These 2 words were too heavy, especially for the immortal world where the heavenly Tao laws were incomplete. Divine spirits had always been something that only existed in ancient legends. Now that the heavenly Tao laws were complete and the emissaries of the divine world had descended, one could imagine the shock in the hearts of the people. Other than being shocked, many of them were also very excited. Especially Jiang Chen and Long Shan. The arrival of the messenger of the divine world meant that they had the opportunity to enter the divine world and pursue a higher divine Tao. This opportunity was too rare. Although Jiang Chen and Long Shan hadn't reached the 9th grade Great Sovereign Realm, their strength was already at the peak of this world. It would be extremely difficult for them to improve even a little bit.
The arrival of the messenger of the divine world had undoubtedly opened up a path for Jiang Chen and the others.
I know that all of you are very confused. I'm here today for the opening of the divine tomb 3 days later. The messenger of the divine world said. The opening of the divine tomb? What's that? Jiang Chen asked curiously. The divine tomb is a different space. One end is connected to countless planes of the immortal world, and the other end is connected to the supreme divine world. The divine tomb opens once every 1,000 years. Every time it opens, countless 9th grade great sovereigns will enter the divine tomb to train themselves in the incomparably cruel divine tomb, searching for an opportunity to enter the divine world. You guys are pretty lucky. The heavenly Tao law of the 9 regions immortal world has just been completed, and you're already in time for the opening of the divine tomb. The messenger of the divine world said. Listen up, I'll only explain the situation of the divine tomb once. The divine tomb is the only way for you guys to enter the divine world. However, the divine tomb is extremely dangerous. Everyone who wants to enter the divine world from a lower plane will have to go through a test of life and death. As for what kind of danger you guys will encounter in the divine tomb, you'll naturally know when the time comes. I'll come again 3 days later and open the passage to the divine tomb for you guys. There's one thing you guys need to know. Don't try to enter the divine tomb if you don't have the strength of a 9th grade great sovereign. Even if you're a 9th grade great sovereign, you'll most likely fall in there forever.
The messenger of the divine world then looked at Jiang Chen.
Young man, you're pretty good. I hope you'll choose to enter the divine tomb.
And the two of you, rare geniuses of the heavenly Tao.
There's no longer any challenge for you guys in this world. If you miss this opportunity, you'll have to wait for another 1,000 years. The messenger of the divine world said these words to Jiang Chen, Longsha San and a Huang dog.
After that he vanished.
The appearance of the emissary from the divine realm had shocked many people. The opening of the divine mausoleum had also affected some people's minds.
It was also the first time for many people to learn from the emissary that this immortal world was called the 9 Regions Immortal World.
The heavenly Tao had been incomplete for too long. This place had become a sealed world. Many people had forgotten the original name of the immortal world. But this wasn't important. The most important thing was that the heavenly Tao law had been restored. A 9th grade great sovereign would have a new way out. A day later, many people had gathered in a spacious garden in sovereign domain. Jiang Chen, Longsha San, De Huang Dog, Han Yan, Tyrant, Old Ancestor Green Lotus, Wu Ningzhu, Yan Chenyu, Zhang Zhenhai, Zueling Nangong Wentian, Golden Old Ancestor, the 8 great sovereigns. The important figures of the immortal world had appeared. The barbarian race had been annihilated. The atmosphere that should have been joyous had now become somewhat gloomy. The divine tomb had affected many people's hearts. Brother Chen, go ahead. I support you, Yan Chenyu said with a smile. Yan Chenyu said with a smile. She knew what Jiang Chen was thinking. He was a man who wouldn't stop moving forward.
Now that he was standing at the peak of the immortal world, he had to go further in order to become stronger.
Let's go. There's nothing to be sad about. You go first. We'll catch up to you after 1,000 years. Wu Ningzhu said straightforwardly. Although she was reluctant to part with Jiang Chen, they knew that to Jiang Chen, it was the same as the time when he ascended from the Saint Origin world to the immortal world. Although it was sad to part, they would meet again one day. That's right. Little Chenzi, you, Monkey and De Huang should go first. We'll just wait for another 1,000 years, Han Yan said with a smile. He and Tyrant had a look of pity on their faces. They too wanted to enter the divine tomb with Jiang Chen and the others. Unfortunately, their current strength was not enough. Just like what the messenger said, entering the tomb was no different from courting death. The divine tomb is full of danger. I've heard of such a place in the ancient records. That is the place where the divine souls of the divine world are exiled. Many divine beings of the divine world would be exiled to that place after their death, looking for a chance to be reborn. There are dangers everywhere and evil spirits are everywhere. However, if you want to go to the higher divine world, you have to go through the divine tomb. Entering the divine tomb is a choice of life and death, but once you pass through it, you will be able to gain a foothold in the divine world. Our cultivation base has already reached the peak of the immortal realm. There are only 2 paths in front of us. One is to stay in the immortal world forever, and the other is to go to the divine tomb to fight and ascend to a higher world. Great Monarch Taishu said, Jiang Chen, the divine tomb will open in 2 days. It's up to you whether you want to go in or not. As for us, we've suffered serious injuries from the battle with the 12 old ancestors. Even our origin was hurt. I'm afraid we won't be able to enter with you, Great Monarch Ling Tian said. Great Emperor Ling Tian said. What he said was right.
Entering the divine tomb without any confidence was no different from courting death.
In that case, they would rather wait for another 1,000 years. To these old antiques who had lived for so long, 1,000 years was nothing. Jiang Chen did not say anything, but he definitely wanted to go to the divine tomb. After the catastrophe, he used the great divination art to calculate and did not find Yan Qingqing's aura in the immortal world. He guessed that Yan Qingqing was taken away by the divine phoenix and was probably no longer in the immortal world. However, Jiang Chen was not worried. If Yan Qingqing followed the mysterious divine phoenix, she would definitely not be in any danger. 2 days later, the emissaries of the divine world appeared in the sky of the sovereign domain. Jiang Chen, Longsha San and De Huang Dog stood side by side. Opposite them stood many people who were sending them off. Sadness could be seen in Zhang Zhenhai, Yan Chenyu, and the other's eyes. They knew that once Jiang Chen and the others left, they would be separated from each other forever. It would be at least 1,000 years before they could see each other again. At the same time, they were proud of Jiang Chen. His path was destined to be endless.
Father, your son is unfilial.
Jiang Chen bowed deeply to Jiang Zhenhai. Don't talk nonsense. Jiang Zhenhai's eyes were glistening with tears. This was the greatest pride of his life. Little you, Sister Ning, take good care of my father. Ah Yen, tyrant. Anan, we'll wait for you in the divine world. Jiang Chen made arrangements to everyone. Then, he turned around and leaped into the sky with Long Shersan and a Huang dog. Jiang Chen did not like the atmosphere of parting. The longer the atmosphere lasted, the more he did not want to leave.
The emissary waved his hand and tore open a crack.
A huge black door appeared in front of Jiang Chen and the rest. Are the three of you ready? There's no turning back on this path. The emissary asked. What's with all the nonsense?
Long Shersan said nothing and stepped into the passage, disappearing.
Jiang Chen and a Huang dog followed suit. Then, the emissary and the passage disappeared, leaving behind a huge space vortex in the sky.
Countless eyes stared at the vortex with a complicated expression.
The 9 prefectures' immortal world ushered in a new chapter. The figure of the white-robed youth would be recorded in the annals of history. Chapter 21:10. Dong, dong, dong. Accompanied by 3 deafening sounds of the morning bell and evening drum, the space vortex gradually disappeared into the sky. Jiang Chen felt as if the sky and earth were spinning as he was sucked into a rather strange spatial vortex. Even he couldn't remain calm in this spatial vortex. If it wasn't for the Great Void technique, he would have been torn apart by the violent spatial astral wind in the spatial vortex. Jiang Chen looked at the spatial vortex. Monkey? De Huang? Jiang Chen shouted. His voice traveled 1,000 miles, but there was nothing around him. Long Shersan and a Huang dog had already disappeared. The space around him changed. Jiang Chen had entered a completely different world. The surrounding light was green, and there seemed to be a vague moon hanging in the sky. He could barely see this strange world. The ancient trees towered into the sky, but they were all black. Whether it was the stones or the trees, they were all as black as ink. Even the flowing water was the same. In the distance, there were black clouds floating, giving people a gloomy feeling. Is this the divine tomb? Jiang Chen murmured. He guessed that Long Shersan and a Huang dog should have been transported to different places. According to the emissary of the divine world, one side of the divine tomb was connected to the immortal world of countless planes. The other side was connected to the divine world. One must go to the end of the divine tomb, the other side of the divine world, to enter the divine world. The divine tomb was like a bottomless pit that devoured immortal emperors. Among the many immortal worlds of the numerous planes, only 1 out of 10 could enter the divine world. This was like an elimination match. Only those who had been bathed in blood could enter the divine world. Rather than calling it the divine tomb, it would be better to call it an immortal burial ground because 90% of those who were left here were immortal emperors who had no chance to enter the divine world. The deep and serene space was filled with evilness. The damp ground was like a swamp, barren and desolate. The vast expanse of 1,000 miles seemed to be the same. Under the law of heaven and earth, Jiang Chen could not even fly in the air, but his strength was not suppressed. Suddenly, Jiang Chen felt like he was being stared at. That feeling made him extremely uncomfortable. A gloomy cloud loomed over them, revealing a pitch-black hill in front of them. A few words were written on it. Tomb of Heaven God Mo Yen. Brat, you've come to the territory of I Empyrean God Ink Yen, and you still want to run? A cold voice echoed in Jiang Chen's ears. Heavenly God? Jiang Chen frowned. It seemed that the other party was someone from the immortal world. No. This was the tomb of the god of sin, so the people here were definitely not real gods, but ghosts or just divine souls. Heavenly monarch Taishu once said that many of the dead gods in the god world would have their souls exiled here. At least you have some knowledge. This heavenly deity just happened to eat your essence, energy, and spirit. Help me rise to the next level. A pitch-black figure appeared in front of Jiang Chen.
His face was pale without a trace of blood, and his expression was incomparably arrogant, as if he was looking down on an ant.
You are just a divine soul. Don't try to intimidate me.
If you were a heavenly deity, I might be wary of you.
But why should I be? No matter how glorious you were when you were alive, you are just a divine soul now. What is there to be afraid of? Do you think that just by releasing a bit of your aura, you can make me surrender without a fight? You are too naive. Jiang Chen harumphed coldly and said disdainfully. Just now, he had already tested the ancestral dragon pagoda. It could still be used in the spatial zone, and it wasn't affected by the spatial law. Even if he could not win, he would still be invincible. More importantly, after leaving the immortal world, the door to the Zulong Tower automatically opened. Jiang Chen felt that the reason why the Zulong Tower was closed was because his strength had reached the pinnacle of that world. Now that he had left the immortal world, he could naturally use it again. Good lad. Interesting. But even if it's just a remnant soul, it's more than enough to deal with you. Humph. Heavenly God Mo Yan's eyes flashed with a dark light. The monstrous black mist behind him immediately dispersed towards Jiang Chen. Edifying light. Jiang Chen roared. His hands formed a series of hand seals. The edifying light was extremely effective against this kind of darkness. Therefore, Jiang Chen did not hesitate to cast it. The result was very satisfying. Under the edifying light, Heavenly God Mo Yan's divine soul was in great pain, as if he had gone through 10 lifetimes of tribulation. Lad, where did you come from? Even a late true god's divine soul is more than enough to deal with a 9th-grade immortal sovereign like you. How did this happen? Damn it! There was a trace of fear in Heavenly God Mo Yan's eyes. He did not expect a mere 7th-grade immortal sovereign human to be so powerful, and even heavily injure him. The divine soul of a heavenly god, even if it's just a soul, could unleash the strength of an early void god. It was a one-sided suppression against those who entered the divine tomb from the lower planes. But in front of this 7th-grade immortal sovereign, he actually suffered a loss, and almost failed miserably. You want to refine me? Then I'll refine you first. Jiang Chen sneered. The edifying light showed its power again, and this time, it was even more ferocious. Under the Buddha's radiance, the edifying 3,000 great worlds and all living beings could not escape from the edifying light. Especially when Heavenly God Mo Yan was heavily injured by Jiang Chen just now. God exterminating solitary dragon strike. Heavenly God Mo Yan roared, unwilling to be edified by Jiang Chen. He exerted all of his strength, but Jiang Chen's edifying light was too powerful, and it happened to be his nemesis. This 7th-grade immortal sovereign. Even a 9th-grade immortal sovereign might not be his opponent. Heavenly God Mo Yan was unwilling. He thought that he had caught a fat sheep, but he never thought that he would be the one being slaughtered. No. I'm a heavenly god, I can't die. I can still reincarnate, I can still return to the divine world. Heavenly God Mo Yan's miserable shriek reverberated in the surrounding 100 li, deafening. His eyes were filled with humiliation and unwillingness. He would be able to reincarnate after absorbing the essence, chi and soul of another 109th-grade immortal sovereigns. At that time, it would only be a matter of time for him to return to his divine position. There was no desire in Jiang Chen's eyes. Looking at the heavenly god that he had edified, the corner of his mouth curved into a cold smile. You can only blame yourself for choosing the wrong prey. Mo Yan's eyes were already lifeless. A heavenly god divine soul was definitely not simple. Mo Yan, that's a good name. Tell me, what are the levels of the divine world, and what kind of space is this? Jiang Chen said. Yes, master. This is the divine tomb, with a radius of hundreds of millions of li. It's endless, connecting the divine world and the 10 immortal worlds. As for the levels of the divine world, the lowest level is the void god realm. That is to say, after entering the divine tomb and going through the baptism of heavenly lightning, one's strength would be at the void god realm. Then, there are true god, heavenly god, divine king, hierarch, divine emperor, and god emperor. Each level is divided into early, middle, and late. I'm a late heavenly god divine soul. My strength is equivalent to an early void god. I can only deal with you 9th-grade immortal sovereigns who have just entered the divine tomb. However, Master's talent is extraordinary. A 7th-grade immortal sovereign could fight against a void god expert. As for true god divine souls, they are not qualified to be buried in the divine tomb. Mo Yan said. Why are true gods not qualified to be buried in the divine tomb? Isn't this the divine tomb? Chapter 21:11. That's because those below the heavenly god realm don't have divine spark. Their divine souls will dissipate into the heavens and earth after they die. But heavenly gods have already started to condense their divine spark. As long as their divine spark is formed, they would be able to live forever. But even in the divine world, there are countless experts.
Many heavenly gods would be sent into the divine tomb by the law of the heavens and earth.
The divine souls in the divine tomb have the possibility to be reborn. As long as they absorb the essence, chi and soul of 100,000 ninth-grade immortal sovereigns, they would be able to reincarnate and return to their god position. Unless there are some almighty experts or law enforcers who would send those evildoers into the divine prison. Their divine spark would be gradually destroyed by the law of the divine prison, and they would never be able to reincarnate. Jiang Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath. 100,000 ninth-grade immortal sovereigns. That was too terrifying. That was 100,000 creatures. Moreover, they were people with great perseverance who had rushed to the divine world from the lower planes. But they were all devoured just like that. No wonder less than 10% of the people who entered the divine world survived. The divine tomb was probably even more terrifying than the divine prison.
The law of the heavens and earth is really cruel.
Jiang Chen sighed.
His eyes became even more determined.
He must rush to the 9 heavens. The divine tomb would never be able to stop him. If someone wanted to take his essence, then he would make sure that person would never be able to reincarnate. How many divine kings, hierarchs, divine emperors and god emperors are above you? Master must be joking. Above the heavenly god realm, there are very few divine kings. A divine king's divine soul is equivalent to a mid-void god realm expert. It's basically impossible to see them in normal times. Hierarch's divine soul is even rarer, equivalent to a late void god realm expert. As for divine emperors, they are legendary existences. In the divine tomb, there are less than 5 divine emperors. As far as I know, there are no divine emperors in this space. Mo Yen said. The divine tomb opens once every 1,000 years. Countless divine souls below the divine king realm are controlled by the higher-grade divine souls and start to harvest 9th-grade immortal sovereigns wantonly. There are countless planes in the 10 directions immortal world. There are hundreds of thousands of 9th-grade immortal sovereigns that enter the divine tomb every 1,000 years, but only a few of them can enter the divine world. Unless there was a great opportunity or a powerful person. Just like Master. Jiang Chen couldn't help but be amazed. He didn't expect that there were so many theories in the tomb of the god of sin.
Wouldn't the divine realm be more wonderful?
Just stay by my side. Those below late gods shouldn't be bold enough to attack me again. Jiang Chen said. How far do we have to go to get out of the tomb of the god of sin? If it's fast, it'll probably take around 50 days. If it's slow, even if it's a year and a half, we still might not be able to get out. 9th-grade immortal sovereigns can't fly in the sky. Under the law of heaven and earth of the divine tomb, even divine kings can't. However, some flying demonic beasts are blessed by the heavens and can fly in the sky. Empyrean god Inkward said solemnly. If that's the case, we need to hurry up and find a Huang and monkey. Otherwise, it'll be terrible if something bad happens to them. Jiang Chen murmured. Although the two of them were quite strong, the divine tomb was extremely dangerous. Jiang Chen didn't want to see anything bad happen to them. How much do you know about the divine tomb? I'm only familiar with this 100,000 li. The whole divine tomb is huge. I only know that this divine tomb has existed since ancient times. It's boundless and endless. It's impossible to trace its origin. Every 1,000 years, the divine tomb opens once. Every time, the 9th-grade immortal sovereigns that descend are in the hundreds of thousands. There are experts in every plane. Only those who are strong enough can rise to the top. Just like Master, unparalleled under the heavens. But if you're unlucky enough to encounter a peak late heavenly god, or even a divine king divine soul, then Master will have a headache and might even fall here. That's why it's extremely difficult for a 9th-grade immortal sovereign to ascend the path to heaven after entering the divine tomb. Some people spend their entire lives and millions of years of cultivation, but they'll still be destroyed in the end, dying in the divine tomb. How sad, how sad.
Mo Yen told him everything he knew.
All right, I got it. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. This divine tomb was much more tragic and dangerous than what he had imagined. It's normal for millions of years of cultivation to be destroyed in a day.
Because the path to heaven of a ninth-grade immortal sovereign was blocked by those divine souls from the divine world.
But it's also a kind of training. Let's continue our journey, Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. They must find a Huang and Monkey as soon as possible. But this divine tomb was huge. Where could they find them? Jiang Chen was also worried. But with De Huang's shrewdness and Monkey's ruthlessness, even a ninth-grade immortal sovereign would not be able to do anything to them. As long as they don't encounter a divine king divine soul, they should be safe. Not far away from them. Lowly immortal sovereigns, quickly lay down your arms and surrender. Hee, it's already come to this. Do you still want to continue your futile struggle? That's right, quickly surrender. Our boss might even leave you with a whole corpse. Kakaka. Why are we wasting our time talking to them? Boss is still waiting for us.
There's still less than 100 to 200 divine souls before he can gather the essence, chi and soul of 100,000 ninth-grade immortal sovereigns.
At that time, it's just a matter of time for him to return to his god position. That's right. We can't afford to delay boss's business.
These 3 ninth-grade immortal sovereigns came at the right time.
Ha! The 4 middle heavenly god divine souls said with a smile.
Their illusory faces were filled with an extremely feminine chi.
Third sister, let's go. Your big brother and second brother can still hold on. Otherwise, we won't have a chance if they use their full strength. Zhang Zhuren said in a deep voice. As the eldest of the 3 siblings, he was the strongest. However, he was still lacking compared to these hateful divine souls. These divine souls were at most 9th-grade immortal sovereigns. However, the longer the battle dragged on, the more serious their injuries became. These 4 heavenly gods were obviously the weakest existences. But even so, they still found it hard to deal with them. It was truly unbelievable. That's right, third sister. Where there's life, there's hope. After you're gone, if there's a chance to soar 90,000 miles to ascend the heavenly road and become a god, that would be the greatest wish of your 2 brothers.
Ha ha!
Zhang Zhejuan laughed.
They were fearless even in the face of death. No, big brother, second brother.
How can I leave the 2 of you behind? Chapter 21:12. Jiang Xinxin was as beautiful as a flower. She was like a fairy from the 9 heavens that had descended to the mortal world. Her figure was petite and lovable. However, she was also a person of great perseverance and talent. She had stepped into the 9th-grade immortal sovereign realm in less than 1,000 years. In the Zhanghuai immortal world, she was like a goddess from the 9 heavens. The fact that she entered the divine tomb with her 2 brothers was the best proof. Her 2 brothers had done so much for her on her journey to the throne, but at this moment, they were once again willing to die for her. Shut up. This is our only chance. Otherwise, all 3 of us will die.
Zhang Zhuren spoke in a low voice while his hair stood on end with rage, and his eyes carried a wisp of a resolute expression.
Haha, you want to run? Isn't this plain too naive? Heavenly God Xuelan, who was in the lead, took a step forward. His chi was like a rainbow, his fists whistled and broke the sky. Apart from the fact that they couldn't fly, they still had the combat strength of a 9th-grade immortal sovereign. Compared to these 9th-grade immortal sovereigns who had just entered, they had a unique advantage. Zhang Zhuren roared and exchanged a glance with Zhang Zhejuan. Both of them were prepared to die as they charged at the 4 heavenly god divine souls. Thunder 9 slashes. Tyrannical dragon strike. A tiny speck of light dares to compete with the radiance of the moon? You overestimate yourself. Humph. Heavenly god Aquilin harumphed coldly. He had forced the Zhang brothers back in a 1 versus 2 battle, and he had seized the opportunity to chase after them, not giving them any chance to retaliate. Little sister, if we don't leave now, then when? Zhang Zhejuan's roar was like thunder as he pushed Jiang Xinxin aside. The 2 brothers fought with their lives on the line, blocking the 4 Empyrean deities. However, at this moment, both of them were struck by Empyrean god Water Orchid. 2 streaks of black light flashed as they were sent flying back 100 meters, heavily injured. Where do you think you're going? Kaka. The other 3 gods took the opportunity to catch up to Jiang Xinxin. At this time, Jiang Xinxin attacked with all her might. Moon reflection. Layers upon layers of water curtains surged over. Water droplets shot out, piercing through the sky like a torrential rain of pear flowers. However, with the 3 of them working together, they instantly broke Jiang Xinxin's rain attack. Does the heavens really want us 3 siblings to die? Jiang Xinxin's expression darkened. It wouldn't be long before she really perished.
The cruelty in the tomb of the god of sin was far more terrible and unparalleled than what the 3 of them had imagined.
How dare you! Get lost! Right at this moment, a loud shout rang out. Heavenly God Inkward let out a low roar, forcing the 3 of them back. Empyrean Aqua God's expression changed as he stared at Empyrean God Inkward. It's you? Moyen, don't you know that we're immortal King He Yan's men? Mind your own business and don't invite trouble for yourself. God King Black Flame didn't kill you because he wants you to work for him. If you make a move now, I believe that God King Black Flame will definitely destroy you. The Heavenly Water God said in a deep voice. At the very least, none of you are worthy.
Empyrean God Moyen said calmly.
You're digging your own grave, Moyen. The Heavenly Water God said in a deep voice. In this area, Empyrean God Moyen still had some prestige. Although he wasn't as powerful as God King Black Flame, his strength was still extremely powerful. At least, the 4 of them were not his match. Master. Moyen turned around and bowed respectfully.
Jiang Chen walked over slowly, calm and composed, with a hint of killing intent in his eyes.
Moyen, you're actually a disciple of a human? Ha ha ha, what a joke. Moyen, looks like you've really disappointed God King Black Flame. So what if he's a human? You want to harm people with just the few of you? You've overestimated yourself. Moyen, kill them. Even in the divine tomb, they won't be able to live in peace. Then, let their divine sparks disappear forever. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice, his eyes were cold. This group of half-dead bastards should disappear from the divine tomb. Otherwise, the number of 9th-grade immortal sovereigns they killed would only increase, and there would be no end to it. Even he felt a tinge of sorrow. If it wasn't for his strength, wouldn't he have become the fertilizer of the divine tomb as well? Those that entered the divine tomb from the lower plane were all from the mortal world or the immortal world. They had to cultivate for thousands of years before they could enter the divine tomb. However, to be hunted down by these half-dead divine souls in the divine tomb, it's really a kind of sorrow. Yes, Master. Moyen received the order and left to fight against the 4 of them. Facing a peak-late heavenly god divine soul like Moyen, even the 4 of them were inferior. Moyen, you can't kill us. God King Black Flame will not let you go. Arg. Moyen was unstoppable. Although he was not Jiang Chen's opponent, it was still a piece of cake for him to kill these 4 divine souls. In an instant, Moyen killed the 4 of them. Their divine souls disappeared in the divine tomb, and a thumb-sized black crystal fell from each of them. This is their divine sparks. Jiang Chen's eyes moved. Yes, once their divine souls are destroyed, their divine sparks will also disappear. Divine souls can't devour each other. Otherwise, the divine tomb would have been a different scene. Moyen said. However, at the same time, the Zulong Tower in Jiang Chen's body had a slight movement because of the 4 divine sparks. Could it be that the Zulong Tower can refine divine sparks? Jiang Chen murmured. With a flick of his finger, the 4 divine sparks were all absorbed into the Zulong Tower. In an instant, the divine sparks turned into strands of pure God energy and poured into the Zulong Tower. The Zulong Tower in Jiang Chen's body glowed even brighter. Jiang Chen was overjoyed. The divine sparks really had such a miraculous effect on the Zulong Tower. The Zulong Tower had only opened up to the 74th floor, and he knew that it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to open another floor. If the amount of energy absorbed by the Ancestral Dragon Pagoda could still be calculated, then the current Ancestral Dragon Pagoda was like a vast ocean. The amount of energy consumed was extremely huge. After a while, the 4 divine sparks were completely refined by the Zulong Tower. The pure God energy was also integrated into the Zulong Tower, but there were still no changes. It would be very difficult to open up the 75th floor. However, Jiang Chen had already made up his mind. Since the divine souls here wanted to kill the human immortal sovereigns, why not start a war against them? The more divine souls he killed, the more pure God energy he could obtain from the divine sparks, and the higher the possibility of opening up the Zulong Tower. Jiang Chen heaved a long sigh of relief. His heart finally calmed down. Only now did he remember Jiang Xinxin. Are you all right? Jiang Chen looked at Jiang Xinxin. The latter's beauty was so beautiful that it could cause the downfall of a city. Even he couldn't help but feel a shiver in his heart, especially that pair of limpid eyes, which made people want to protect her. Thank you for saving my life, young master. We are immortal sovereigns from the Zhonghui immortal world. Jiang Xinxin's face was filled with surprise, but she was still a 9th-grade immortal sovereign after all. Although she was shocked, she did not panic and said respectfully, "It's all right, it's nothing. Thank you for saving our lives, young master." Jiang Zhiren and Jiang Zhejuan also said solemnly. Their eyes were filled with admiration towards Jiang Chen. They could naturally see through Jiang Chen's strength. He was only a 7th-grade immortal sovereign, but he was able to command a peak late heavenly god divine soul. How powerful was that? They were able to become 9th-grade immortal sovereigns and enter the divine tomb. They were not ordinary people. This young man was definitely not an ordinary person. It's all right. Now that your crisis has been resolved, I shall take my leave first. Farewell, Jiang Chen said and turned to leave. The 3 siblings looked at each other. Jiang Xinxin's heart skipped a beat, and she also followed. Young master, the 3 of us are only average in strength. It's hard for us to survive in this divine tomb. It's as difficult as ascending to the heavens to enter the divine world. Please allow us to follow you. Chapter 21:13. Jiang Chen frowned. To be honest, he didn't like to be sloppy. However, if these 3 continued on like this, it would be very difficult for them to enter the divine world. Even if he could save them once, he wouldn't be able to save them forever. Young master, are you looking down on us siblings as burdens? Jiang Xinxin bit her lips. Tears welled up in her eyes. She knew very well that if they were to leave this young master, they wouldn't have much time left. Jiang Chen pondered for a while. This might be an opportunity, because according to what Mo Yen said, many 9th-grade immortal sovereigns were at a disadvantage when they entered the divine tomb. If they could gather together and fight against the divine souls in the divine tomb, they might be able to save a lot of 9th-grade immortal sovereigns and form an alliance. At least, they would have a foothold in the divine tomb. Even if he was very strong, he might not be stronger than everyone else. Jiang Chen knew very well that a good man needed 3 helpers. Moreover, Jiang Chen already had the idea to hunt down those divine souls that thought that they were at the top of the pyramid. Then, he would be able to obtain enough divine sparks to open the Zulong Tower. All right, you guys follow me. To be honest, every 9 heavens immortal sovereign that entered the divine tomb did not have it easy. They were high and mighty in the immortal world, but once they entered the divine tomb, they became the lowest existence. Who could accept such a fact? Jiang Chen smiled bitterly. You're right, young master. You've really touched upon the hearts of us 3 siblings. We've encountered 2 divine souls, but we've escaped each time. We've been living like stray dogs. If we hadn't met young master this time, we would have completely vanished into thin air. Jiang Zhiren sighed, feeling the same way. You're right. But this is also a kind of training for the people of the immortal world. Those who could enter the divine world must be people with great perseverance, great luck, and great strength. Let's set off now, let's keep going. Jiang Chen said. Jiang Xinxin's eyes slightly moved. Jiang Chen's words made the 3 of them unable to calm down for a long time. However, they could see that Jiang Chen was definitely not an ordinary person. Even though he was only a 7th-grade immortal sovereign, he still dared to enter the divine tomb. Just this alone was enough to leave many people in the dust. Of course, they did not dare to underestimate Jiang Chen. A 7th-grade immortal sovereign's strength might even surpass a 9th-grade immortal sovereign like them. Needless to say, the entire god's tomb was in a dusky state. Apart from that, there were some dilapidated ancient tombs. Some were as big as mountains, and some were no different from ordinary tombs. However, the entire god's tomb was filled with murderous intent. The group of 4 had been attacked 4 times in less than half a day's time. However, they were all mid or early heavenly god divine souls. They were basically here to die. Jiang Chen didn't even need to do anything. Jiang Xinxin, Mo Yen and the other 2 were enough to stop them. Mo Yen, it's really you. I didn't expect you to help these immortal sovereigns. You even dared to kill divine King He Yan's men. Let's see where you can escape to this time. Mo Yen, surrender. With the strength of the 3 of us, killing you will be as easy as taking something out of our pockets. I really don't know why you're doing this. Divine King He Yan promised you great things, but you refused to serve him. Now, You're reduced to working for a lowly immortal sovereign. Hee hee. What a joke. What a joke. 3 shadows broke through the sky. Their footwork was ever-changing. Even though they couldn't fly, their speed was still shockingly fast. As they turned around, their voices reverberated. The 3 of them had already blocked Jiang Chen's path. Mo Yan's expression changed. These 3 were all peak late heavenly gods, and they were stronger than him. Even if they had the same strength, there was still a difference in strength. The 3 of them are Divine King He Yan's 3 great protectors. They're very strong.
I'm afraid I'm not their match, Master.
Mo Yan said in a low voice. Jiang Xinxin and the other 2 looked solemn. The pressure brought by these 3 divine souls was hard to resist. They didn't even have the strength to fight back. From this, it could be seen that they were in a dangerous situation. 3 late heavenly god divine souls. You dare to show off your strength? I thought you're a divine king's divine soul. Jiang Chen smiled proudly and said disdainfully, What? How dare you look down on us 3 brothers? Is there something wrong with your head? A mere 7th grade immortal sovereign. Ha ha. This is too funny. What kind of trash dares to enter the divine tomb? But you're not crushed to death by the heavenly Tao law. You're quite capable. But we're in the sky and you're on the ground. I can tell you that we're gods. You're just an ant. Jiang Chen laughed loudly. The coldness in his eyes became thicker. Gods? Gods are humans too. So what if you're gods? Aren't you guys still dead? If it wasn't for the special existence of the divine tomb, you guys would be wandering ghosts with nowhere to go. How dare you act in front of me? Since you guys have offended me, then I won't be courteous with you guys. I'll kill you guys and collect your divine sparks to help me break through. Arrogant brat. You dare to say that we're wandering ghosts? I'll kill you. The 3 divine souls were infuriated. No one had ever dared to talk to them like this. Even though they've been dead for millions of years, they were still high and mighty in the divine tomb. Facing those 9th grade immortal sovereigns, they were still arrogant. But at this moment, they were called wandering ghosts. How could they not be angry? Master, be careful. The combined strength of the 3 of them is infinitely close to a divine king's divine soul.
Mo Yan reminded him.
Die, you arrogant brat. Heavenly God Black Tiger sneered. He turned into a ray of light and charged towards Jiang Chen. Please be safe. Young Master Jiang Chen. 3 divine souls that can barely be considered as early void god divine souls. Today, I will take care of you. Jiang Chen's voice was like a great bell. His aura was like a rainbow.
He was much stronger than a 9th grade immortal sovereign.
Divine dragon beheading the heavens. Heavenly God Black Tiger was the first to attack. A terrifying wave of wind swept across Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was unhurried. He formed seals with his hands. You little rascals, watch my edifying light. 3 rays of bright light pierced through the sky. The divine light was invincible. The power of edifying made Heavenly God Black Tiger and the other 2's expressions change. They quickly retreated. If it wasn't for the 3 of them joining hands, Heavenly God Black Tiger would have been defeated by Jiang Chen. The dreadfulness of the edifying light was definitely a nightmare for them, especially for divine souls. Jiang Chen's suppression on them had reached the extreme. Be careful. This guy is not simple. Heavenly God Black Tiger was shocked, but he did not panic. He said solemnly. Chapter 21:14. Such a terrifying sword chi. Even I dare not face it head-on. Is this guy really just a 7th grade immortal sovereign? Heavenly God Black Tiger could not help but think and took a deep breath. Jiang Chen pointed his sword towards the void with unstoppable might. The 3 of them could not suppress him at all. On the other hand, Jiang Chen, who was holding the heavenly dragon sword, made the 3 of them feel suffocated. The edifying light and the heavenly dragon sword were their greatest nemesis. At this moment, Jiang Chen had already gained the upper hand. It's terrifying. Young Master Jiang Chen is a heaven-defying existence. Jiang Zhiren could not help but say, Yeah, such a proud son of the heavens. If we could follow behind him, even entering the divine world would not be a problem. Jiang Zhejuan also sighed and said, Why? Are you feeling a little sad, little sister? We're both from the immortal world, but compared to young Master Jiang Chen, we're really lacking. Hee hee. Zhang Zhiren said with a faint smile. There was no bitterness, only admiration. Because such a person was destined to stand at the peak of the heavens. No one could stop his footsteps. One man and one sword, looking down on the heavens. At this moment, he was invincible. He was the peerless god of war under the heavens. Young Master Zhang Chen is really powerful. Zhang Xinxin murmured. Zhang Zhiren and Zhang Zhajuan looked at each other. How could they not see through their little sister's thoughts? Their little sister, who had always been arrogant and proud, had never said such words before. From this, it could be seen that she treated young Master Zhang Chen differently. Zhang Chen's sword was unstoppable. The terrifying heavenly dragon sword was like a primordial black dragon that had descended to the world.
Hey who and the other two heavenly god, 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 hey who and the other two
heavenly god, hey who and the other two heavenly god.
Hey who and the other two heavenly god, 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 hey who and the other two heavenly god. There's no need for you guys to exist anymore.
Let me edify you guys. Zhang Chen said faintly and swept his sword across.
The might of the heavenly dragon's sword shone upon 100,000 provinces.
Lordly June, save me. Empyrean deity Black Tiger's eyes were filled with terror.
There was no way for the three of them to dodge, because Zhang Chen's sword had sealed off all of their paths of retreat. The power of his sword was enough to slay the three of them with a single blow.
How dare you? A deep and powerful voice pierced through the sky. An illusory figure tore through the night sky. The wind whistled, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled.
No one can stop me.
As the heavenly dragon sword fell, the three shadows were instantly slashed and disappeared without a trace. The three divine sparks also fell into Zhang Chen's hands. You've got guts. You dare to disobey my words? A figure in a black robe flew over and landed not far away from Zhang Chen.
Lang Lang said coldly with a murderous look in her eyes.
Divine King Li Jun. Empyrean God Inkward's face changed dramatically. Empyrean God Black Tiger and the other two were just pawns. The true experts were behind them. Divine King Li Jun? Zhang Chen frowned. This meant that the person in front of him was a true divine king's soul. Since you know my name, why are you still not kneeling down and surrendering? Divine King Li Jun said with a cold and arrogant expression. He was Divine King He Yan's #1 subordinate. In other words, once Divine King He Yan gathered the essence of 100,000 immortal sovereigns, he would be able to reconstruct his reincarnation and condense his divine sparks. Then he would become a true ruler. Divine King Li Jun's strength is tyrannical. I estimate that he has the battle strength of a peak early void god or even a middle void god. He is Divine King He Yan's #1 subordinate. Empyrean God said quietly. Middle void god? I wonder if I can fight against a middle void god divine soul with my full strength. Zhang Chen smiled indifferently. But he did not feel any pressure. You don't have the qualifications.
If you kneel down and beg for mercy, I might be merciful and spare your life.
You overestimate yourself. You've killed 3 of my generals. I, Divine King Li Jun, will teach you a lesson today. Divine King Li Jun held his long spear and pointed it at Zhang Chen. A terrifying dark aura surged out from his spear, as if he was going to fight to the death with Zhang Chen. The heavenly dragon sword is more than enough to kill you. Zhang Chen sneered. He did not take a step back but took a step forward instead. The heavenly dragon sword was slashed across the sky with an unstoppable momentum. In an instant, the sound of metal clashing could be heard. Rays of light and shadows were moving continuously.
Only the shadows of the two of them could be seen from afar.
The terrifying strength had caused all the plants within a 10-li radius to be destroyed. It was as if the sword had slashed across the sky for 90,000 li, and the radiance of the sword could chill 14 continents. Proud sword of the firmament. Zhang Chen roared in anger. A giant golden dragon burst out from the heavenly dragon sword. Its aura was enough to devour the mountains and rivers. Wherever the sword passed, the grass, trees, and stones were all turned into powder. Divine King Li Jun did not dare to be careless. The guy in front of him was too terrifying. Even Heavenly God He Hu and the other two were not his match. That meant that he must have a terrifying trump card. It seemed like it was true. The heavenly dragon sword was unsheathed. Dragon chi filled the air. The tip of the sword swept across 90,000 li. The terrifying aura caused Jiang Xinxin and the others to retreat quickly. Divine King Li Jun brandished his long spear. His aura soared to the clouds, stirring the winds and clouds. The sword chi and the spear's shadow overlapped again and again. However, Divine King Li Jun was suppressed by Jiang Chen.
He did not expect that the Heavenly Dragon Sword's terrifying aura and the Heavenly Dragon Sword's unsheathed strike had completely sealed his path of retreat.
What a terrifying guy. This kid must not be left alive. Divine King Li Jun thought in his heart. The spear's shadow overlapped, but he did not retreat. Instead, he advanced and fought fiercely with Jiang Chen. However, Jiang Chen did not want to continue fighting with him. He wanted to end the battle quickly. Once he killed this Divine King-level Divine Soul, he could use this opportunity to break through to the 8th grade Immortal Sovereign Realm. This was Jiang Chen's chance to break through. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Fusion of Dragon and Sword. Go to hell. Jiang Chen harumphed coldly. The Heavenly Dragon Sword and the Heavenly Dragon Shadow overlapped. The fusion of Dragon and Sword was unparalleled. The Heavenly Dragon Sword seemed to have the help of God. Its terrifying aura almost caused the surrounding space to crack. The fusion of Dragon and Sword completely repelled Divine King Li Jun's attack. At that moment, his body trembled and his expression changed. Want to kill me? Don't think you'll have it easy. Divine King Li Jun roared. His eyes were filled with hysterical anger. He did not expect this guy to be able to fight equally with him. Heaven-piercing snake spear. Spears of spears pierced through the sky, leaving after images that shook people's hearts. However, godly King Li Jun still underestimated this sword. As the sword fell, the sky cracked inch by inch. With an unparalleled divine dragon aura, it pierced through godly King Li Jun's divine soul. No! Chapter 21:15. At the same time, shadows of snake spears pierced through the sky. Even though Jiang Chen managed to block half of them, he had to admit that the fatal attack of a divine king's divine soul was quite terrifying. Even though he was prepared for it, he was still pushed back 100 meters by the snake spears. No! I'm not willing. In the dark space, Divine King Li Jun's roar resounded. However, his divine soul could no longer withstand the might of the fusion of dragon and sword, instantly dissipating between the heavens and earth. A divine spark that was as black as ink fell into Jiang Chen's hand. Jiang Chen's lips curled into a smile, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth with satisfaction. Master's prowess has shaken the world. It's really shocking. One should know that this divine King Li Jun has the strength of a middle void god. Heavenly God Mo Yen took a deep breath and said solemnly. Only he knew how big the gap was. In front of an ordinary 9th grade immortal sovereign, the divine soul of a divine king was a supreme existence. However, Divine King Li Jun had never thought that he would fail miserably and lose to Jiang Chen. Not only that, he completely dissipated between the heavens and earth. Even his divine spark was taken by Jiang Chen. Such talent, he's really a genius in the myriad of worlds. It really makes me feel ashamed. Jiang Zhiren said, but his heart was filled with admiration. His brilliance is too dazzling. Even in this divine tomb where all living beings are treated like dogs, he's still invincible. Jiang Zhiren was full of respect for Jiang Chen. Their decision to follow Jiang Chen was definitely the best decision they've made since they entered the divine tomb. Jiang Xinxin, on the other hand, was staring at this scene without blinking. Jiang Chen was like a peerless god of war, awe-inspiring. This time, I must break through to the 8th grade immortal sovereign. Jiang Chen murmured. I can already feel the bottleneck of breaking through. Just wait for me here. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he instantly entered the Zulong Tower and turned into a speck of dust in the tomb of the god of sin. However, Jiang Xinxin and the other two, even Mo Yen, were completely stunned. Because the space here was suppressed by the law of heaven and earth, it was impossible to teleport and fly. However, at this moment, Jiang Chen disappeared without a sign and disappeared between heaven and earth, without a trace of aura. Master is truly unparalleled. Mo Yen sighed. In the Zulong Tower, Jiang Chen's expression was solemn, holding the divine sparks in his hand tightly. especially the one that belonged to divine King Li Jun. The energy that was bursting out from it almost suffocated Jiang Chen. This time, the 75th floor of the Zulong Tower should be about to open, and he had just broken through to the 8th grade Immortal Sovereign Realm. Currently, Jiang Chen's body was tightly connected with the Zulong Tower. As long as the Zulong Tower could absorb the energy from the divine sparks, the dragon marks in his body would also increase. The Zulong Tower was frantically absorbing the energy from the divine sparks. Jiang Chen sat cross-legged. The dragon marks in his body were increasing rapidly. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 15,000, 20,000. Finally, it stopped when it reached 2,083,000. 2,050,000 dragon marks was the standard of an 8th grade Immortal Sovereign. Jiang Chen's current cultivation base had reached the peak of the 8th grade Immortal Sovereign Realm. Time passed by slowly. In the Zulong Tower, the flow of time was greatly slowed down. Am I finally going to break through? Jiang Chen circulated the dragon transformation skill. The dragon marks in his body kept increasing, and finally reached the peak. The dragon marks in his body became even crazier along with his aura. From the 7th grade Immortal Sovereign to the 8th grade Immortal Sovereign. Although it was not a qualitative transformation, it gave Jiang Chen great benefits. Not only did the number of dragon marks increase, but his perception towards the laws of the heavens and earth had also greatly improved. However, even after absorbing all the divine sparks, the 75th floor of the Zulong Tower was still not opened. Looks like it's going to be very difficult to open another floor of the Zulong Tower. Jiang Chen knew that the Zulong Tower was his biggest trump card. It would be very difficult to open another floor. Perhaps, he could start a massacre in the Divine Tomb now. If that's the case, the Zulong Tower would become more and more terrifying after absorbing enough divine sparks. His strength would also increase rapidly with the opening of the Zulong Tower. After all, although his combat strength was strong, his strength was still a shortcoming. He must reach the 9th grade Immortal Sovereign Realm, or even the Void God Realm in the Divine Tomb. Roar! Jiang Chen let out a deep roar. His voice was like a great bell, piercing through the sky. The dragon marks increased again, and he felt that his strength had once again made a huge leap. Jiang Chen swept his sword horizontally. The sword shook the 9 heavens and pierced through the sky, as if it was going to break through the Zulong Tower. 8th grade Immortal Sovereign. Sure enough, it was even more powerful. Outside the Zulong Tower, a dozen 9th grade Immortal Sovereigns appeared. You guys are actually together with a divine soul. Looks like you guys are really stupid. We're being chased by this group of divine souls to the point where there's no way out. Today we must kill this divine soul. The few of you will die together with him. Yeah, kill them. We're in such a sorry state after being chased by the divine soul. Where's our Immortal Sovereign aura? When I was in the Tong Nether Immortal World, I was invincible. But in this son of ABTCH's Divine Tomb, I'm being chased by a group of wandering ghosts. Where's the justice in this world? Kill them. Being together with a divine soul, they're jackals of the same tribe. More than a dozen 9th grade Immortal Sovereigns said with righteous indignation. The green-robed middle-aged man standing at the front looked at Jiang Xinshin with a fiery gaze. Female Sovereign, I can see that you're not an ordinary person. You must have your own difficulties. As long as you're willing to form a master-servant contract with me, I'll forgive the 3 of you. As for this divine soul, we must kill it today. Li Shuai said in a deep voice. In fact, he was thinking about Jiang Xinshin. Such a peerless empress was hard to find throughout the ages. In this tomb of the god of sin, he had only seen one. Moreover, she was such a peerless beauty. Don't go too far. Do you think that we don't know what you guys are planning? Kill us if you want to, but you have to have the capability to do so. Jiang Xinshin was not afraid at all. However, Jiang Zhiren and Jiang Zhejuan looked solemn. There were 17 of them, and all of them were 9th grade Immortal Sovereigns. Their strength was not to be trifled with. Even Heavenly God Mo Yen was not a match for these 17 9th grade Immortal Sovereigns. Fellow Sovereign, we've all ascended from the immortal world of the lower plane. Why don't we form an alliance? This Heavenly God Mo Yan's strength is tyrannical. He's not an evil person. Otherwise, how could we be safe and sound? We should unite and fight against those malicious divine souls. That's the right way. Jiang Zhiren said. Ha! This is the biggest joke in the world. The 3 of you are in cahoots with a divine soul. How dare you speak such arrogant words?
We're laughing our heads off.
Today all of you must die.
However, I can spare this female sovereign's life,"
Li Shuai said with a smile.
The killing intent in his eyes was like a blazing flame.
"The three of you leave first. I'll stop them.
Once Master appears, it'll be the death of these people.
Their evil intentions are clear as day. You don't have to waste your breath on them," Mo Yen said in a deep voice. "A bunch of bastards. Even if I die, I won't let you guys get what you want. There's no need to worry about finding a pretext to pin a crime on someone. You guys should be the ones with ulterior motives." Zhang Zhejuan roared angrily.
These bastards were simply coming for his sister.
How could he not see it? Then don't blame us for being impolite. If you guys want to be in cahoots with the demons, only death awaits you. Chapter 21:16. Jiang Zhiren and Jiang Zhejuan were very clear that this scum came for their little sister, Jiang Xinxin. To put it bluntly, he was using Mo Yan's divine soul as an excuse to take control of their little sister. As her elder brothers, they would never let Li Shuai succeed even if they had to fight to the death. You guys go and stop that heavenly god's divine soul. Leave the three of them to me, Li Shuai said faintly. In an instant, a dozen figures besieged Mo Yan, while Li Shuai stood in front of Jiang Xinxin. The first time I saw the Empress, my heart was filled with tenderness. If you guys are willing to follow me, then I, the most handsome immortal sovereign, am willing to let you guys go. Shameless bastard. You dare to call yourself the most handsome immortal sovereign? What a joke. Ha ha. If you want to take control of my sister, you'll have to get through me first. Jiang Zhiren took the lead, holding a 9-feet-long blade, slashing through the void. The heavens and earth seemed to be trembling. Wherever the blade passed, the space buzzed. Good. But it's still not a challenge for me. Li Shuai shook his head and said with a smile. With a raise of his hand, Li Shuai actually grabbed Jiang Zhiren's 9-foot-long blade. The void shattered and the blade was crushed by Li Shuai's palm. Jiang Zhiren's countenance changed and he quickly retreated. However, it was already too late. Li Shuai's palm had directly shattered Jiang Zhiren's natal divine weapon, the 9-lock interlocking blade. Even his body was severely injured. Puff! Jiang Zhiren spurted out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale, and he staggered backwards. Jiang Zhejuan and Jiang Xinxin held him up. The two sisters looked at each other and inhaled a breath of cold air. This Li Shuai was indeed worthy of being the leader of the group. Even a group of 9th-grade immortal sovereigns had to obey his orders. His skills were indeed extraordinary. Even the way he snatched the 9-lock interlocking blade from the void just now had shocked them greatly. One move. Just one move was enough to defeat Jiang Zhiren. This showed that this guy's strength was quite powerful. There were strong and weak 9th-grade immortal sovereigns. Obviously, this Li Shuai was one of the best 9th-grade immortal sovereigns, and his strength was extremely terrifying. Are we really going to die here? Young Master Jiang Chen, where are you? Jiang Xinxin murmured. Little sister, at this time, it seems like we can only fight with our lives on the line. Even if we lose, we must lose with dignity. Riches and honor cannot be corrupted, poverty cannot be shaken, and might cannot be subdued. Jiang Zhejuan said with a solemn expression. The three siblings shook hands. 3 heroes against Marshal Li. Do you want to come along? That's not enough, because you 9th-grade immortal sovereigns are too weak in my eyes. Li Shuai smiled faintly and waved both of his hands. His palms were like thunder, stirring the void as if the entire sky was about to be pressed down. The complexion of Jiang Zhejuan and the other two changed greatly. However, the arrow had already been fired. The three of them launched their strongest attack, wanting to kill Li Shuai. However, they also knew that Li Shuai's strength might not be any weaker than young Master Jiang Chen. Even if they gave it their all, they might not be able to contend against Li Shuai. Li Shuai stirred the vast sky. The pitch-black wind and clouds howled. The entire valley was filled with sand and pebbles, and thunder rumbled. 9 heavens proud soared. Jiang Xinxin took the lead. Layers of sword shadows appeared. The white jade long sword swept across the universe. Thousands of sword shadows filled the sky, completely surrounding Li Shuai. Jiang Zhejuan did not want to be outdone. He waved the feather fan in his hand. Wind and thunder rumbled as he pressed towards Li Shuai. Jiang Zhiren followed behind him. The three of them formed a triangular formation, besieging Li Shuai. They were all 9th grade immortal sovereigns. The strength of the three of them was not weak. They could even gain the upper hand among the 9th grade immortal sovereigns. However, facing Li Shuai, the most handsome immortal sovereign, they were really struggling. Li Shuai was calm and unruffled. His palm technique was strange. Moreover, he was able to seize the opportunity every time. It was as if the attacks of the three of them could not reach Li Shuai at all. In a split second, Jiang Zhejuan's feather fan fell down. The mountain rocks cracked and the sound was deafening. However, Li Shuai's figure had already disappeared. The attacks of the three of them missed. In the next second, Li Shuai appeared right behind Jiang Zhejuan. Weak. Simply weak? Can't even withstand a single blow. Li Shuai said disdainfully. How is this possible? Jiang Zhejuan's expression changed. His back was hit by a terrifying palm print. All the meridians in his body were almost broken. He was severely injured and looked extremely battered. On the other side, Jiang Zhiren couldn't escape his misfortune either. Li Shuai seemed to have predicted the future. After severely injuring Jiang Zhiren, he had already confronted Jiang Zhiren. Overwhelming palm prints broke through the void and arrived in an incomparably powerful manner. Fallen petals in profusion. Great Luo divine palm. Li Shuai's voice was like a great bell. He pointed at the void and a huge palm print fell from the sky, directly smashing towards Jiang Zhiren. Jiang Zhiren's expression changed drastically. He quickly tried to escape, but he still could not escape his misfortune. His body was smashed into pieces by Li Shuai. If it wasn't for his 9th grade immortal sovereign's body being strong enough, Jiang Zhiren might have already died. Moreover, everyone knew that the current Li Shuai had yet to reveal his true trump card. Even so, the three siblings of the Jiang clan had already been completely defeated. Only Jiang Xinxin was left. Sword rain fell from the sky. Li Shuai stood proudly with a layer of golden light covering his body, like the shell of a divine turtle. Jiang Xinxin was completely helpless against it. Immortal binding rope. Li Shuai casually threw a long dark green belt towards Jiang Xinxin. Jiang Xinxin slashed with her sword, but she did not have any strength to fight back. She was captured by Li Shuai directly. Insignificant skill. Empress, if you accompany me for 10,000 years, I will definitely treat you the same as before. Furthermore, your two brothers will be able to follow us all the way to the God realm. Otherwise, with just the three of you, it would be extremely difficult for you to walk out of this area. Li Shuai said faintly. Don't even think about it. Even if I die, I will not be your woman. We are both 9 heavens immortal sovereigns. Even if I die, I will not yield to you. Jiang Xinxin's words were sonorous, powerful and extremely cold. Li Shuai's expression finally changed completely. I gave you face but you don't want it. Then, I will make you my slave forever, and your two brothers will also be smashed into pieces. Li Shuai's eyes were cold. He stepped forward step by step, as if the surrounding air had solidified. Jiang Xinxin's expression suddenly changed. She was not afraid of death. But if she died, her two brothers would not be able to escape from the evil hands. Moreover, everything was caused by her. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.